That's
All right.
also why a lot of stuff is shot in Canada too. It's cheaper.
Oh yes, all the supernatural. I couldn't believe all the supernatural got just filmed in like somebody's backyard in Canada. All right, this will be a good one. What animal best represents your character? This may have come up before. Maybe you've answered before, but maybe your animal hath changed. I'll go ahead and post it in.
It's still a liger.
Well, now you can't answer. If anybody would like to do a recap of what happened last week, question mark. I'll give you a recap inspiration there. I know everything's pretty easy here at level 12 plus. But
Oh
sometimes.
shit!
Oh man, do you want to use a recap inspiration to re-roll that or
No.
no? Okay. Going once, going twice. Sold to Julian.
Okay, what's my consequence?
There's no we call them complications. PR department told me I couldn't call them consequences.
Okay, what's my complication?
You have
Your
to
compli-
describe the miracle of life.
Oh God, yes, I do. Although at that point, Halos, yes, Halos, was already out there in the world. But yes, previously on Mythic Odyssey, we found ourselves fighting for dear life against the abomination that was the previous queens of Themis, having died, gone to the Nether Seas, and being merged into one giant, evil, awful-looking Medusa. We were surrounded by that creature, and then some hydras as well, and I had a baby in my hands, so I was kind of useless until I could get my bearings and get out of there. But Andronicos and Ohlen, in true fighter paladin fashion, led the charge, and Sibo, despite having his body wrecked from bearing a child, did his level best and kept Maya afloat. Although we did survive the ordeal, but Maya had to use her dearly won free pass from Lutheria almost immediately after we had won it in negotiations. Um, uh, from her near-death experience, Maya did reveal that it seems that we are being vetted um, by Lutheria as possible allies, although with her plans within plans, it's hard to say whether she's looking for allies or whether she's looking for pawns. So that's still to be figured out. As we were heading to the Cube Keeper 3's cube after that fight, Sibo was dealing with his family drama. I was dealing with my own family drama with my mother beating up on my on again, off again boyfriend, and just a general mess. We took a long rest. Sibo did market breakfast that he had a lovely dream. I did not. And also, conversations were had. And we do find ourselves at the top of the cube. Not sure how much time is left on the hourglass. Sibo knows, more than likely. He's grown even more intelligent, but he had to make some sacrifices as a result of either the tart he consumed. Oh dear Lord. Yes, he made some sacrifices. Just out looking at his sheet. And he is now being piggybacked around by his son, who is now a full-grown man. It's amazing how time is very loose down here, much like Sibo's anus. So yes, we are waiting the arrival of the Crypt Keeper.
Ah, yes. All right. Dan, thank you for that recap. I will add a
Well done.
recap version to your sheet. All right, if anyone is interested in answering the fact version question for a D10 Bardic Inspiration, go ahead and roll a D20 into chat. Also, if you have a ranged weapon, I don't think any of us have a ranged weapon. If you have a ranged weapon, ammunition is broken again. So you have to turn ammunition off your weapon if you want your weapon to actually work. I'll try to keep track of if ammunition gets fixed again. So it's still better than Roll20 though. Okay. Let's see. Looks like Julian coming with a 19. All right, Julian, what aminal?
I would say it's still a fox.
Okay. Because loud and stinky, or
No,
oh,
clever like
okay.
a fox. Just
Oh,
Makes
keep
interesting
my
noises.
cleverness in different ways.
okay. All right. Fair enough.
Well
You may
renowned for their
ask.
fur.
Oh, well, yeah, hunted by many for their pelts.
Well, I mean, when you've got it, you've got it.
Oh, damn. All right. You may ask the same question of any NPC you've met previously in the campaign.
I probably asked this last time, but I feel I should ask it of Sidon.
Sidon. Ooh.
I know it's a hard one because he takes the form of so many different creatures as he represents himself to the original inhabitants of this land. But still,
It's a tough choice. He would really be hard pressed between an octopus, and like a rock, like a giant bird. So the only thing the octopus is lacking is its ability to fly, but it is brilliant, beautiful, adaptable. I mean, it's honestly just fucking apex animal. It's everything that he used to be, and everything that he still thinks that he is. And also, the ocean's like a lot bigger than the land, so that part's kind of cool. That's why he taught his octopus how to fly, so that it could have the best of everything. Little Kraken baby. The bird part, I mean, nothing beats flying, looking down upon your domain, mingling with the weather and the clouds. I don't know. It's a tough choice. If you had to pick one or the other, you'd probably pick octopus. So, all right. Well, with all that settled, go ahead and get a Vaxpiration onto Julian and put you guys back on top of this iron cube.
Alright, I think we left off wiping our feet on the doormat.
pretty much.
Right. Oh, were you being brought inside?
No, we had just gotten to the top.
Okay.
We were waiting for Cube Keeper 3 to show up.
Oh, right. You had knocked on the top. Okay. All right. Let's go here. And then this particular part of the adventure is extremely raw. So I have the book open here next to me, the physical book. That's how raw the nether suits are. Let's see.
Sounds like a good thing.
Yeah.
If I didn't feel the need to take the blowtorch to it.
It was definitely one of the more interesting parts of the book, for sure. Here we go. Alrighty. So, as you walk over and dunk on the roof, there is no reply and no indication of anything happening.
Or I'll just wait.
Okay.
Looking around, so this one is the one that's kind of submerged in the water, like as shown here.
Yes.
Okay. We're pretty close to the Oathkeeper Isle. Can we see it from here? Or the Oathbreaker Isle, sorry.
Oathbreaker Island is pretty close. Give me an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, and I will know if you can see it or not.
Is this for everybody?
5.
Oh no, Orange is the one that tried, but yeah. Man, it's really far away. Like it's hard to see anything. You know, it should be out there somewhere in the midst of the sea, but God only knows where it actually is.
Yeah, just stand there. He won't knock for a while. And he'll just kind of scan the horizon, looking around.
Right. After a while, you do see some deep crows. One of them's very fluffy, and they're just flying by, not bothering anybody.
What do the deep crows typically eat?
The souls of the damned.
Nice.
But
Nice.
if they could get a hold of surface world flesh, they prefer that. They wing off and down towards your ship, heading to eat your crew.
All right, we've got a.
Seriously?
We got enough people.
Yeah,
already.
but I mean,
I'm sure y'all will take care of it.
Yeah, your crew deals with shit all the time, guys. You think you're the only people solving problems here? Jesus Christ.
No, it's just it's just like nobody else is like, okay, well, we throw javelin and lightning at him or some shit.
I mean, you could attack them to draw them away from the ship, but that's where they're headed.
Now they got it.
All right.
Or
yeah.
do we?
Hmm?
He last
turned
time
around,
when
yeah.
we went to the cube, he didn't. It was a lot faster when they showed up. Do we need to go inside? I don't think we should, but do we need to?
Usually I just wait.
Okay.
He'll try the door. Is it locked?
Oh yeah, it's definitely locked.
Yeah, Orange shrugs.
Chandris approaches and says, do you think we should go inside?
We could, without a guide, though. Prone to being lost. Or worse.
Well, each cube contains different things for different reasons. Have you visited any of the cubes in Lutheria's service?
She sent me on some errands, but there are a great number more than I've visited. I've not been here.
I see.
Well, it's probably not a good idea to go in uninvited. Not to mention, we aren't entirely sure what's inside.
If we can get out,
Also,
it's meant to trap things inside of it. So if we were to make it inside, I don't know if we would be able to make it out.
You can always come back later.
Well, I do know how to open it if you wanted to peek inside. You're not the only one who found themselves in the service of Lutheria, if you recall.
Yeah, Orange just thinks on it. Looks between Chandris and the door. I don't know. If you think it's wise.
Why are you asking Chandris if it's wise? I mean, he has the capability, but if we don't know what's in there, I mean, we could very well be sticking our head into a guillotine or something.
Chandra says, what's inside would, it would perhaps change the way you, think about everything. It is a door that both physically and metaphysically, once you have opened it, you will not be able to close it. Well, I suppose physically you could, but metaphysically, like once you open it, you. I tried to make that sound a lot cooler than it was, but
Chandras, do you know what's in this cube?
yes, but
But if he tells us what it is is irrevocably changing us, yes?
It's the hunger.
yes, but
It's the hunger in this cube.
well, that is what it's called. That is what it represents. But you seem convinced that you have encountered the hunger yourselves, which I find very hard to believe.
Well,
That's
there was this
the-
one time when we played this game called Dungeons and Dragons with the Lotus Witch,
Mhm.
and she had us fight a imaginary creature named the Hunger.
I see. Do you think maybe she just sort of copied, you know, some other people's ideas for her story? I mean, sometimes writers will do that.
I wouldn't say that out loud.
I see. If you think this creature has escaped, then perhaps the Lotus Witch was trying to warn you. Then we should probably check for ourselves. Because if such a creature is no longer in its prison, all of creation is in danger.
Let me ask you, Chandras.
Hmm.
You're able to get us in. Would you be able to get us out?
Yes, it's simply a passphrase to open the door.
Can I ask, how do you know this passphrase?
From my time working with Lutheria, I helped her organize her operations in the same way that I provided guidance for the king and queen of Mitros. And now I provide such guidance for you, heroes.
Or we'll turn to the rest of the hop. Say, should we venture inside then, without the cube keeper?
Well, I will say, we came here because we were told that the cube keeper had a request for you, Oren.
Yes, it's very strange that after being told that, he's not here.
Well, he's either not here or he's not answering.
It's more
I think
likely
it's
that
worth
he's
looking
here.
into.
Cube keepers can't leave their cubes. They're
These
contract
cubes
bound.
are iron of a sort, but they have many of the properties of lead as well. It prevents any sort of scrying and teleportation in and out. Whatever's inside is meant to stay there until such a time that it isn't. And he looks up at the massive hourglass. The choice is yours. I stand ready to aid however I can.
Well, what do we want to do? Do we want to get involved and try and enter this cube and figure out what's going on, or we want to just move on and head over to what else we have to do?
Orn will he'll knock again, and he'll take a seat and he'll say, I think we should just give it some time. If he really is out, maybe they'll return. Sticking our nose in without knowing the full picture might be more dangerous than it is beneficial. Not just to ourselves. Things stored in these cubes are on the same level as the mimickies we encountered on our voyages.
Mm. Well,
If there's a chance that some apocalyptic level entity has escaped its containment, I think we need to either confirm that as true or confirm that as false. Either way, this is something that I think we need to find out.
What if entering actually releases this apocalyptic entity?
oh, Chandra shakes his head. He says, "No, this is well, I wouldn't call it a factory. It's a prison, but it's a prison that requires staff, maintenance, people, things coming and going."
Sibo would go up to Chandras and say, Chandras, why would the cube keeper not be here? You said they requires maintenance staff. Do they have
Oh
required
no,
training?
they live inside the cube.
Okay, but if they live inside the cube, why would they leave? Are they going grocery shopping? Are they going for training? Where would they go?
Well, they're not supposed to go anywhere. They are as much prisoners of the cube as the inmates themselves. These daemons, they are bound into service, much as mortals and gods bind themselves via oath and promises. These creatures can be forced via magic to serve, or they can be paid. But they take their job very seriously. It is strange that they would request to speak with you of all people, Oren. You are, no offense, simply a brute in the service of Lady Lutheria. You'd hold
Yes,
knows.
but it may be what Orin has access to that they do not. He can move, and we would not. We were also able to barter a deal with Andronicus's tape. If no one else
Perhaps.
will, I will stick my head in there if Chandras will let me. And guys, I genuinely feel this is kind of what Sibo might.
Oh
push.
yeah, it's curiosity for
absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
I would accompany you, Sibo.
Let's go
You guys
then.
are going. Yeah, everybody.
Honestly,
Chandras,
do we really want to put our heads in there? I mean, if this is as
Well,
bad as the
not
Murmikey,
I would rather put a leg in first, not head in first.
it doesn't matter what appendage we put in first. If this is as bad as the Murmikey situation, we royally fucked that up.
Well, we learned
Well,
from
I mean,
how
that.
by
about
the
this
very act
time-
of intervening, we could create a situation that we have no means of managing.
Well, this time we'll open the door that's meant to be used as access to this. We won't teleport past a magic barrier.
I still
follow
think it's
procedure, Julian.
ill-conceived.
Chandras whispers the words of power, Fas and Fa. And you see this sort of outline of a circular disc begin to turn and as it does, segments appear, and then stairs begin to kind of appear that spiral down into the cube. It's about 18 feet across the column of stairs. So the stairs are wide enough that a large creature could uncomfortably use them to get down.
So is Halos carrying Sibo, I guess? Because
No,
Sibo did dump his strength.
he did, son of a
He did!
Wow.
I'm looking at it on the sheet right now. That's why I was like,
Wow.
oh shit, during...
He's really
I thought he
holding.
was going to dump Dex.
He's really holding out for a Professor X chair or some Gauntlets of Ogre Power, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't feel like he would use Polybrachia. Not
Wait,
Polybrachia,
no.
Water
Hold
Tentacles.
on. We talked about this in between sessions. He definitely said he was going back for Dex.
Okay, I'm just looking at what he did to his sheet.
Yeah. I'll fix it. Hold on.
I'll close the sheet then.
All right, let's see.
I can only imagine that conversation. Like, dude, seriously, don't dump strength.
I didn't realize Sibo was such a fucking coward.
Dang. Wow. Okay, let's see.
Jorgos, did you have your left butt cheek eaten off by a dragon? Don't think so. I'm not a coward.
No, sorry.
No, I think it was
player.
Oh no, hold on. Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm remembering the conversation differently.
You can just dump calm. We know where to get another amulet of health.
I was considering reducing wisdom, but I feel like that's going to be too important at higher level. Yeah. Don't want to touch Dex because AC 20 versus AC 17 just feels like I'm going to spend all my spell slots healing myself. I don't know how to tell him. Armor class is not going to matter in about 2 levels, but that's okay. It's all hit points. Hit points is the only thing that's going to matter. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess his son is just carrying him around. Yeah, hit points and damage resistance. Absolutely. Yep. All right. You guys head down the stairs?
Let's go.
Does anybody forego this adventure?
whack his son. Onward,
Alright.
Halos.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Kyra says, I've never been in one of these cubes before. It should be very, very
Your Honor.
exciting.
Yeah, because we wanted advantage on persuasion checks. That was before we decided we were going to SEAL Team 6 this.
There we go.
What? This time.
As you go, excuse me. These are primordial golems. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. As you head downstairs, these primordial golems, they turn and look at you. They say nothing. Everybody has to roll initiative.
Fuck.
You're too clumpy, so you must find your own initiative today. I cannot grab it for you.
That's dummy.
They're primordial
Yeah.
golems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why? Why? Are you... That's what their name says. It says primordial golems.
Abducent. I don't even know what that word means.
Find out.
It's a Pathfinder word. So.
You read it a couple times, huh?
Yeah. Damn it. Every week I learn a new word as I prep Kingmaker. And it's a word that didn't need to exist. Like, if there was a way to murder words in the English language, I would be a serial killer. Alright, abducent. Drawing away, as if by the action of a muscle.
Like abducting.
Yeah. I don't think of abducting in the way that I think they're talking about abducent here.
It's like the abduction machine, you know?
No, what's an abduction machine?
It's like,
I thought that was just for kidnapping people.
think it's like leg
Are you not allowed to
raises.
talk about it?
Oh no, it's the it's the thing where you've got like your legs together, like straight ahead, and then you're like you spread them.
The act of abducting, the state of being abducted. A syllogism whose major premise is certain, but whose minor premise is probable.
There you go.
Oh.
Machine. That's
Relate.
that's hip abduction. There.
English is so fucked. All right. Anyways, looks like everybody's rolled in. No, we didn't get a SIBO. There we go.
Sorry,
All
I'm having
right.
issues with the sheet not wanting to pop out.
No worries. There we go. All right, they're moving slow. That ain't bad. I'm gonna clear chat real quick. Okay. Julian, you have won the initiative. Julian, as you go to act, let's see. This one over here, the abducent, it begins to shimmer, and the surface of its metal coils melts as if it is made from the primordial clay of creation. And then you see that the creature that you are staring at begins to morph and change and takes on your appearance. But big. All right, continue your turn. Oh, let me get some music here. Hold on. Let's see.
Can I make like a magical crafting check or like a Arcana check to
Maybe a
better understand
recall.
these
Yeah,
creatures?
you could do a recall knowledge.
Okay.
Crafting or Arcana would be good.
Okay. They're the same thing, but we'll do crafting just so we can better understand these golems, how they operate, potential weaknesses, that sort of thing.
Okay. So you are confident that these are golems of a sort. Their brief reveal of clay makes you think that they are probably an advanced form or maybe an ancient form of clay golem. You do know that clay golems have a tendency to go berserk when they get bloodied. They love acid, so don't use that.
You lose him?
Oh, okay. I thought I like
Yeah,
that.
are you there?
Yeah, we lost. I think because the music died as well. So I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
For a second, I thought it was me only. I was like, okay, he'll come back soon.
Yeah,
Same
I
here.
was
I was like,
like,
oh no,
strict checking the
It's snowing
stream.
in New
Like,
Hampshire.
well, I mean, since he's not here, I mean, I don't know if this is a outright fight. I mean, I think maybe we should chill for a sec.
Now we just kill him while he's gone.
Oh, true, yeah. Can Julian fireball himself, though? That's the question.
I mean, you resist the fire, right?
It's like punching a mirror.
Well, I just messaged him directly. He got it. So, all right. He said, "Give me a second." And to answer your question, darling, it's not me. I'd be destroying a cheap copy.
I know it looks rather expensive.
Yeah, it looks rather expensive.
All right, fine. I'd be destroying an expensive copy, but it's not the genuine article.
You know how much it costs to have a tome of a clay golem creation, Julian? Telemachus told me once. Something like 20,000 gold or something. Drachma, that is.
What's cool?
No, I got you.
What who the other one's going to turn into?
Guess an Orin, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
router died. It's going to be a few minutes.
Or whoever on our side goes next.
Takes
Probably.
I wonder if they switch depending on who's ever playing at the time. Who's ever turn is at the time.
We just need to wait till they switch to SIBO, and then we can put him in a chokehold. Give him a noogie.
Well, if they switch to SIBO, we can't give him a wedgie.
True.
He's got no pants.
Yeah, I always forget that SIBO's Donald Ducking it out here.
He's a little Spartan, you know?
Let's see. Hope we're not getting into a whole situation here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is supposed to be a raw thing, so we'll see what happens.
What I'm kind of thinking is Cubekeeper 3, or not Cubekeeper 3, Cubekeeper 9 mentioned that Cubekeeper 3 wanted to talk to Ohlen, but the real question is how long ago in like normal time was that?
Yeah, it's true.
Time is relative down here.
Exactly. So it might have been like whenever Ohlen was still down with Lutheria before the Lotus Witch D&D campaign. It's like, yeah, Cubekeeper 9 wants to talk to you. Cubekeeper 9's like, yeah, the Hunger's like, he's fucking escaping. I need help. And like now he's gone. Yeah, I'll get some waiting room music while we go. Okay. Oh, my music bot doesn't have access to the Mythic channel, so
It's okay. I've got the Monty Python intermission music from Holy Grail going.
Mine might. Hold on, let me see here. Hey,
yeah.
he's back.
Okay, nice.
Hey, that was a total complete crash. The browser, not the browser, the router went down completely. Oh,
No problem.
yeah. Okay.
So we lost you after you said acid was their friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. They like acid. immutable form, magic resistance, smash stuff, and they can hasten themselves. So just keep that in mind.
All right.
Oh no, that's not the music I want. There we go. All right.
Bring the bot back over. Hello?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. Did we lose Crash again?
I thought he was working on
maybe.
getting the music bot out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we lost
oh.
him again.
Oh no. Bummer.
Oh, dang, what's going on?
Since we know they're going to copy what we do.
Well, we don't know that yet. You just know their
at
turn.
least
They look like you.
they copy our image, which suggests that perhaps they copy our abilities.
Maybe they just want to flex off. Hey, continue.
I mean, that's not a terrible idea. And we do want me to pass to SIBO next.
I mean, I think we should. I mean, let's give them a minute. You know, maybe pass to them, see what they do. You know, they might go haste themselves up and just start punching, but they might not. I don't know. All we've done right now is walk down the staircase into this like little foyer area, so maybe they might not be hostile unless we try to hit some of these doors.
Mm.
I'm just saying it if we can avoid blowing up the guard, because like we don't necessarily want to kill
the guard dog might draw more attention.
We're gonna if we blaze a trail through this cube, taking out all the defenses.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like that's something that Orin would shout out.
He thinks it over the SIBO network. When you think about it, this Discord call is the SIBO network.
Yes. We're moving at the speed of thought.
The frog?
What frog?
Oh, you guys don't know about that.
Yeah, we know about thought.
Yeah, we know about thought.
I don't know if
He's my buddy. He lives in my backpack.
Okay, you guys know. You guys have thought too.
Yeah, he lives in Tiernan's backpack.
I love that.
I think he lives on Taylor's shoulder.
That or Victor. I feel like he hops
Victor's
around a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just glad we survived last session.
What's this shit?
Hey, you're not dead yet.
Hey, spoilers! I haven't seen the most recent episode yet.
It's not spoiling much.
Yeah, you guys are usually somebody's dying or in the process of being dead.
Oh no, you'll see what I mean when you watch it. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was not.
Oh, did I ever finish prepping my spells that I wanted to do for today? Am I still?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I did change. I did change some of them. I got still have control water. No, I think I was going to get rid of control water and control wind for something else. But I did change out Hero's Feast for Sunbeam.
Good call.
Crash just messaged me. He's checking to see if he'd set area outage where he's at.
Oh. Oh no.
What's up?
He said he may have to call it.
Dang.
Shit.
Cliffhanger. This is what we get for going into the Eldritch Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know if we sat up there waiting for the Cube Keeper for the next half hour, that the internet wouldn't have gone out.
He's gonna try one
As
more
soon as
thing.
we decide,
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll go do something. I guess we'll take a look. Then the internet goes out. It's like, damn it. Oh, man.
He's gonna try one more thing.
Alrighty.
And one more thing.
I mean, if he does call it, then he can relax after his
Hey,
20th hour. Hey, what's
Hello.
up?
Hey.
I don't know what's going on. It's happening to all the wired machines in the house, so it's not settings specific to a computer, so it's not like...
It's probably like an area-wide thing.
Yeah, I
Can
checked,
you
they say they're fine. I checked some friends who live up the road, they say they're fine. So, I don't know. I guess,
try the router again?
well, it's working now on its own. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright. Try one more time. See.
And Crash, when you're ready, I've got a couple of questions.
Sure. What's up?
Um, I feel so basic asking this question. How high is the ceiling in here?
Oh no, it's 15 feet. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's actually covered in the adventure. Yeah.
All right. No, it's just it's everybody who can fly's question. How high is the ceiling in here?
No, it's fine. I mean, this is what we're playing. We're playing higher level D&D. Like, I mean, you guys are all gonna be flying eventually. Like, it's just be ready. Like, we're gonna be having to keep track of height all the time and all that good stuff. So. Yeah.
And the golems, are they floor to ceiling, or is it like they're like 10 feet tall?
Well, they're 10 feet tall, but they could, they have reach to reach the ceiling. So.
Okay. I mean, I figured given their size, there was no way you couldn't be in here and not get whacked by them, but just wanted to ask the question.
Okay, so we'll try one more time. I guess if I die on you guys again, I'll just refund the session. But we'll try to get it. We'll try to get it going. All right, so here we go. There should be music. Should be in there. Yeah. They can cast haste on themselves. They can punch really hard. They get mad when their hit points drop to 50% or less. That's what you know about clay golems, which you think that these are some form of clay golem. All right, so what do you do?
So was that my action? The recall knowledge?
Oh, nope, that's a bonus action.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to... I'm going to try and talk to them.
Okay.
And Julian's going to say, Golden Guardians, we were looking for the Keeper of the Cube. We tried to get an audience, but they have not come up. We mean you no harm. We are merely trying to seek an audience with them. Please, where's your master? Your boss?
Yeah, the creatures stare at you unblinkingly, like a Julian mannequin and a crash test dummy. They do not seem capable of answering your question.
Okay. Julian's gonna keep his hands up. He's gonna try and be threatening.
Okay.
And I'm gonna kind of shuffle. Get off the stairs and kind of shuffle to the back, but not towards a door. Because I feel like if I try to move towards a door, that might trigger a violent response.
Probably, yeah. Okay.
Token.
Yeah. So, general features: ceilings are 15 feet high. Everything is made from iron. Nothing is lit, so you have to bring your own lights with you. All right. Who do you pass to, Julian?
I will pass to the golem of me. Crap! Why can't I find my token in this mess?
Okay. This golem is going to move here, and it is going to activate haste on itself. And let's see. It's been a hot minute since it had haste on a monster. Let's see. Speed doubled, AC that's +2. Additional action. The action can only be used to dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. No dodge. Okay. So yeah, that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna move there, cast haste, and it looks like it's trying to block your access to the door.
Okay. I would be in that adjacent square to its like upper left. I can't get to my token.
Sure. There's a lot of minis here. So, all right, I'm gonna stuff all the V team in the back corner here. Put you guys in actual threatenable spaces. There we go.
So I'll be right there on the ground.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I will pass to.
Well,
I've already passed.
Yeah. You've already started to think that you are the new Julian. They're gonna pass to. They'll pass to Oren. As they do, Oren, the one in the bottom right of the room, it shimmers and switches from metal to clay, and then it takes on your appearance.
All right. Let's see. So looking
Chandra
around.
tells you it seems that the security is still in place.
Indeed. Hmm. Yeah, I think Orin's gonna move. He'll move into kind of like a defensive position, and then he'll say, Cube Keeper 9, we've come. He beckoned us here to speak regarding something. Come out now, that we may talk. And he'll use his
Chandra
action.
says, I'm not trying to, but it's Cube Keeper 3.
Cube Keeper 3, yes. Well, all the same stuff I just said, but for you, Cube Keeper 3, come out. And he'll use his action doing that.
Okay.
As a bonus action, he will... Let's see... No, not yet. We'll leave it at that. We'll pass to these the other primordial guardian, a golem. One looks like him.
Okay. It's going to step over in front of these doors, and then cast haste on itself. All right. Let's see. They will pass to Queen Maya.
I was gonna say, well, we don't want to destroy the defenses here. Should we just head back up? Or the defenses are working.
Indeed.
She'll. For right now, she'll kind of get in a defensive position on the stairs since they seem kind of hostile. So I'll just dodge.
Okay. All right.
Past the Andronicos.
All right, Andronicos.
All right, the play seems to be non-hostile.
Okay.
So I killed him anyway. Now, I will scoot over here out of the way, and then wait to see what the plan is. I'm probably still not restrained. I don't know what that was from.
Oh yeah, just clear your token. It's all good.
That's probably from the Hydra fight last week.
All right. Play passes to Sibo. Same deal.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys stand down, the creatures stand down, and you guys are in a stalemate. I'll take you out of combat.
Okay.
All right.
Sibo, do you know if there's a way to communicate with these golems that's... Or actually, yeah, he'll turn to Chandras, say, Chandras, not encountered golems like this before. Do you know if there's a way to... Can they write? Or is it...
It is unlikely. They're more likely scenarios. They're commanded by the warden of this cube. We have shown no violence, and now that we are inside the cube, if the warden is here, they cannot not know that we're here. Does that make sense?
Yes, they've got awareness of their domain. In that case, let's give it a minute or two here.
Okay. So you wait about, say, a minute or two. These guys, after about a minute, they get real tired for about 6 seconds, and then they re-up their haste. This one steps off to the side, Big O, they might call him, and the doors behind him open. They slide into the wall like elevator doors, and you see what at first you think are 4 Ultraloths.
Yeah.
But you realize, that 3 of them have the same sort of bronze skin, liquid bronze skin that Andronicos has. Cube Keeper 3 Yeah, Cubekeeper 3, you know this because he has a little name tag on his velvety, shadowy robes. It's just a number 3 embroidered there. He, or they, look over at all of you, and they say, well, it has been a while since anyone came calling.
We were informed that you were seeking help regarding a matter. We recently arrived in the Nether Seas and came to investigate. You did not answer when we knocked.
Yes, well, I am very busy. This is a very complicated operation, and it seems to have no end in sight. You are the Dreamwalker, the mortal pressed into service by Our Lady Lutheria.
Indeed,
You
my
are
patrons.
anomalies of fate, and therefore of great interest to many, including myself.
Wasn't aware such things were common knowledge. How did you come by such information?
It's a small underworld.
Orin looks over at Telemachus, frowns.
The whole cube shifts as if a minor earthquake went through everything. The cube keeper and his 3 clones, they just sort of like sway because they're levitating with just like the little pinky toe touching the floor. The golems, their feet become like liquidy clay and kind of grip to the floor, but it is a pretty violent quake. And then the cube keeper says, "Ah, it must be feeding time. Would you like to take a look? Some people claim it's quite fascinating."
Does that relate to your delicate operation that you're managing?
It is the operation, Dreamwalker.
Alright. I think we would like to observe then.
Of course.
Orin looks to the others to kind of confirm. Are we doing this?
Maya nods.
Alright, we'll start to follow.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Julian will think over the network. Are we sure we want to do this? Chalmers did caution us that if we observe whatever is down here, we cannot unsee it. It will irrevocably change our way of thinking, is what he was suggesting.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, there's broadening one's horizon, and then there's the shattering of the mind. I'm not sure which he was referring to.
Let's go find out then.
All right. As you leave the first room, here's some award-winning. Well, I don't know if they won awards for this adventure, but the writers have won awards. Here's some flight protects. All right. Let's see. As you descend the spiral staircase, you enter the dark chamber below. You're met by dark, gloomy surroundings. A sense of dread fills the air. You feel a strange presence and notice 2 featureless humanoids. And we already took care of that. All right. So now you're going into this area. Okay. Orin, the room that you walk into south of the entrance there are featureless humanoid golems standing silent and still in a sad crowd at the center of this room. There are a dozen of them. Some have missing arms, while a couple have missing heads.
Is in the ways that they're broken, is there a way to like kind of can Orin look at the injuries and see were they cut by blades or pulled apart?
I would say recall knowledge with crafting or medicine could probably tell you.
I will do medicine.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you think that they were killed by or broken by blunt trauma.
Good stuff. Orn will carefully step around them.
Oh,
Following
as
the
you guys
keeper.
walk through, since you brought Chandra's, you get this official Chandra's quote from the adventure. It says, yes, Lutheria despised her role as caretaker of the Iron Cube. I think she took pity on the creatures locked within. I know in her heart she waits for their release.
Orn just grimaces at Chandras and keeps walking.
Yeah, the fanboy energy is pretty high.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Like right now, yeah. Like even Zamrox is looking at him like,
Is Andronicus
"Bro."
coming with us? Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Coming back
bro.
to your old place of employment, Chandras, that brings back lingering affections, huh?
He says, I just lost sight of the grandness of her work in comparison to the simplicity of guiding the governance of the largest city and nation in the world.
Orn nods.
Right. The room beyond this one is a little antechamber, 20 feet wide, 10 feet deep, double doors leading to double doors. This reminds you of essentially like failsafe doors, or like, oh shit, close the doors, close the other doors. Like it kind of has that feel to it, which is weird.
It's where the red shirts get trapped and eaten after the
Oh yeah, for sure.
second
for
sets
sure.
of doors close on them.
The next room is somewhat complex. There are runes inscribed everywhere, on the floors, the ceilings, the walls. There are 4 orbs floating in place, each of them giving off a sickly green light. Anyone who could read Primordial, you could read these runes, and they tell a story. If you attempt to read the story, you will have to make a wisdom saving throw, or suffer a small madness.
Small madness. As
cheated.
as a treat.
Oof. Oof.
Hey, only an 11.
Okay, so
Do you want to reroll that one, buddy?
are you okay with the small madness?
Maya says Andronicus.
Oh,
Be
that's
careful.
right.
Be careful what you're reading. And she's gonna go ahead and spend one of her Queen's Wisdoms.
Okay.
It should be rolling out soon.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Okay. Well, you prevented some madness here. That's good.
Siba will also partake in the.
Oh,
the
okay.
reading.
Of course.
I think if it's an innate, if it's okay, so he would have to use one of his spell slots.
I think
if he wants to be able to turn
I think
it
he
on.
might have the eyes of the Runekeeper.
Yeah, I think you can just read
Okay.
anything, right?
All right. In that case, I owe you a wisdom save.
Okay.
No. I don't have two reactions.
Oof. All right. So you give Sibo a small madness instead. He adds it to his collection.
No.
An excellent addition.
There's got to be a thing. Doesn't he have a thing like he has a reaction?
Maybe.
Buddy, you guys are level 12 in a homebrew game. You have a lot of things.
Yeah, I know, and
I know you're asking the room at large. I know you're asking the room at large.
For wisdom saves? I don't know. I don't think.
He has
No,
he has resistance revised, the cantrip.
Yeah, the new revised resistance. Can you cast yourself? Can you cast it
So
on
he
yourself?
brings it up to a 15, which is not enough.
Yeah, but how close is it?
He needs 5 more. It's a DC 20.
Dang.
He'll succeed at Telmacost.
That would only put it up to a 19.
It would
Right?
exceed it. He would have
no,
succeeded all Telemachus. But yeah, you're right. That would only be...
Oh,
well,
wait.
no, succeeding it all would still only get 4, like +4.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you could succeed
wow.
at a cost within 3, and then you could succeed at a tell him cost within 4.
Oh,
and
yep,
then
it's
you could
I
succeeded
thought it was
succeed
all
at
within
within
5.
5.
Okay, that's my bad
yeah.
memory.
No, the
Yeah.
succeeded at tell him all cost is 5. So yeah, but that would be 3 out of combat.
I don't think
I thought it
Uh,
was only.
I don't think
Okay, I need.
I don't think we have unlocked the all cost because we haven't found his mother
No,
yet.
we got that.
yeah, you did. You did the beach thing where he fought and he learned that he was strong and he was a hero.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, whoops, never mind.
Yep, that was succeeded all
I
Telemachus.
don't know what's worse, madness or the Telemachus, but he'd do it, so we're doing it.
Whichever
I mean,
one is
Telemachus-
worse, that's what he'd do.
Telemachus is until long rest. Minor madness, we have no idea.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
a,
Okay.
All right.
it's a small madness, though.
1, 2, 3.
Oh
His
my
maximum
goodness.
HP is reduced by 25%. Big sacrifice, he loses 2 hit dice, and then burnout, he loses one of his highest level spell slots.
So he just loses a spell slot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just warlock things. Then he drinks some coffee and he gets it back. It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so
Lost dice and
so
HP.
Sibo and Andronicus, do you guys need this? You guys all share everything. This party doesn't have any real secrets. All right. So you are hearing about a creature that is said to embody hunger. This creature is found on many worlds, and it is a primordial force that is both a species but also a manifestation of an idea. Which is to say, like many of the elder primordials, it is a guide in its own right, a god that requires no worshippers, because it is in fact the embodiment of an ideal or a belief or a condition. This condition is hunger. The creature, on many worlds, slumbers in the Underdark or near the planet's core, whatever a planet is, where it sleeps and digests from its last feeding frenzy, when finally it has grown hungry enough, it awakens and it claws its way to the surface, and it goes on a rampage, devouring all things and all life until its hunger is sated, or it is driven back into its hibernation. The creature is said to be immune to most magics and the size of a mountain. The cube shakes again as if there's an earthquake. The cube keeper and his entourage, or their entourage, says, "This way. Careful not to touch any of the orbs."
What do the orbs look like?
They look ponderous. They're about 5 feet across, in all directions, because sphere, and they look like glass, and whatever's inside the glass, it looks like if the Nyx was also toxic waste.
Hmm.
lost space.
Alright, yeah, Warren gives them a wide berth while he ponders.
Julian keeps smacking Sibo's hand as he reaches out to try and touch the orbs.
Okay.
Again, I feel like he's overly inquisitive.
Right. You guys enter a massive chamber. The chamber is, let me see, eyeballing it, 75 feet across in both directions. The ceiling still remains uncomfortable 15 feet high. Normally a 15-foot high ceiling is fine, but something about this place makes a 15-foot high solid iron ceiling just not feel very good. He motions to this massive circular hole in the floor that you might look down upon the hunger.
Orin gazes down the hole.
Okay. You can see from a chute all manner of massive green massive purple worms. Each the size of a horse, are spilling out of this like chute in the ceiling, and the creature, with eerily human-like gestures, is scooping them up and devouring them in what seems to be a very sluggish sort of stupor. The creature is that.
Ah, okay.
Yes. A massive behemoth, the size of a small mountain. Its eyes glowing with primordial fire, its body covered in spines, horns, and barbs, its back plated with a shimmering carapace that seems to reflect back any and all light that is available. Once again, you marvel at the size of the interior of the cube compared to the outside.
So it's kind of like we're looking down the circle like opens up into like a larger area, or does it just go straight down?
This creature barely has enough room to scoop up the food. It is essentially restrained right now. To give you an
Crash with
idea of how big it is, if you were to fall down the hole, this would be the map that you would be in. Hold on. Maybe. There we go.
Really, this whole big black area.
Oh no, their token.
Oh,
there.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Never change, Foundry. Never change. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the cube keeper looks down. It's hard to tell. Kind of has a bored expression on its face, and it says, "It never ends. Endless feeding, breeding, food, over and over and over." As he says that, you hear a terrible scream coming from over here. It is inhuman. But Maya, with your high insight, you know that whatever creature is in there, it longs for death, true death, release, an end to suffering.
When she hears that, she's gonna turn to Cucumber 3 and say,
Yes.
"Where are all these creatures coming from to feed it?"
Well, for a time, we tried the Goodberry technique, but any magical food seems incapable of sating the creature's hunger. Summoned food is the same result. Alas, we had to provide a natural food source for the creature, else its hunger would wake it before its time. It's all very complicated, but we have perfected the method of forced breeding. Do not worry yourself over such details. A worm barely has a sentience or soul to worry about, but just enough to count. The millions of children they are forced to produce, it is the same. Worthless. Like feeding copper pieces into a furnace. Yes, on your world you do not have copper. Imagine something worthless. That's what we're using. But it seems to do the trick.
And what of this operation is delicate? Or is there something I'm missing here?
Excuse me, but what is the question?
I believe you called us here. Put out the word that you wish to speak. Was it just to show us this, or is there...
Oh, yes. I see. My request has reached your ears. Yes, indeed. I grow tired of this service. I wish to be freed of my duties. Your lady has refused to answer any of my calls, any of my requests for renegotiations of my contract. Therefore, I thought perhaps you, a mortal and diametrically opposed to your employer's belief, might find a common ground with me to perhaps disobey her in a manner that would free me and benefit you.
What you propose?
Well, it is simple. I will trade you information on how to defeat her. But in exchange, I need her scythe. My intention, to be completely transparent, is to shatter the scythe. It will release our lord, whose confinement has rendered us all slaves.
The destruction of the scythe poses a problem.
And who told you that?
Contained within the scythe, your leader, your lord maybe, but alongside them, countless other horrors.
Horrors that no doubt seek to return to their own worlds. The lesson, of course, has been learned. Thylea is off limits.
In exchange for this...
If there was something else that could threaten them.
At that point, there's like another rumble, and you see this guy drift precariously over the opening, and then drift back. Maya and Andronikos, you guys gonna shift closer to the edge. You see the creature below shift ever so slightly, and one of its magma eyes sort of narrows into a slit as it stares up at you hungrily. You understand that I put myself at great risk if my ill intentions were discovered by your lady.
Indeed.
Yet at the same time, I feel I do not have much to lose. If she were to destroy me, I would simply be returned to the Grey Wastes, where I would be freed of my contract and able to continue my existence.
Unless she killed
My
you
only
with the same
fear,
scythe.
yes, is to be imprisoned within that hateful scythe, the enemy of all living things, both here and abroad. Truly, it is a powerful weapon, one that even Lord Hades would be envious of. You don't know who this Lord Hades is, but apparently he would be envious of that scythe.
What is the current natural end to your contract? The cube is opened.
Ah, yes. I am bound here until the apocalypse.
Well. Hmm.
Time is very slippery, and I have given up on studying the hourglass, for it fills me with a great depression. And I grew up in the Grey Wastes, so that is saying something. He chuckles at his own joke, not realizing that you guys probably don't know what he's talking about.
The gray waste sounds kind of like a self-explanatory, but
Oh, yeah. Just a field of spoiled mashed potatoes. Every direction.
Okay, yeah. So Orin, he's thinking. He turns to Andronicus. He says, "You were seeking the destruction of the scythe as well, were you not?"
Yes. I need there to be something. There needs to be a plan before that happens. We can't just risk breaking it and hope that everything leaves.
Yes, we consign many worlds and possibly our own to a horrible fate.
You see the Q Cooper 3 produce from its robes a fine goblet, a silver platter, and a wine bottle. He places the plate, and it just sort of floats there in the air. Places the goblet, and then uncorks the liquid and begins to pour. It has a very lime green cartoon poison vibe, as little puffs of steam and smoke come off of it that are shaped like skulls and crossbones, and they dissipate in the air. It looks over at all of you and says, "How rude of me. Would any of you like a drink?" And it moves its many jointed spidery fingers across the platter, and more glasses appear.
No, no, thank you.
Mm,
Orin will take one.
okay. To drink it?
Yeah, he dumps a little out first into the pit.
Oh, okay. Into the pit! Oh, man. So, hold on. Buddy.
He won't do that. He thinks better of it. Just
No,
dump
it's all good. It's all good.
dump it on the ground here.
As you dribble it
I
down.
don't want to cause the apocalypse. It's like, oh, this
As-
creature, it's powered up by wine. It's powered up by wine. No,
So as you
not
pour it out.
no. Retcon. Roll it back.
Retcon.
Yeah,
Okay.
he catches
All right.
Sibo catches it with his open mouth.
Damn, you're really gonna do SIBO like
No,
that? All right.
he would not do that.
All right, let's go with your gut. So as you pour some out, it splatters on the creature, to no effect. As you down it, I will need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
24.
All right. You make the save. It is foul, but it actually kind of tastes. It's got a pretty. It's got a bite to it. It's got a bite to it for sure. Yeah, you could feel it sort of working its way through your system and kind of trying to burn it away and kill you. But at the end of the day, let's see, does anything long term happen to you? Let me check.
It's the cube keepers. It's not bad.
Yeah, so you would take half of 12d6 poison damage.
Nice.
All right.
Halved
Awesome,
again
yeah.
from resistance, so that'd be 19 down to 9.
All right. The creature is impressed by your fortitude and says and gives you a respectful nod of the head and says, "I will confess, I have become a bit addicted to the venom of this particular species.
Fucking purple worm venom drink.
We certainly have enough on hand."
What if there was a way to get you out of your contract without breaking the scythe? Would you still be open to the terms of the deal then?
Hmm. So you speak of only freeing me from my contract, something that only Lady Lutheria could do,
Indeed.
or the freeing of my master.
Breaking the scythe is, at the moment, out of the question, not something that we can or would even aim to do for the foreseeable future. Freeing yourself, though.
I'll be honest, I doubt any of you have the means to do so. While she is consumed by madness, madness to the point of divinity, she is still at her core crafty.
Well,
I dare say she would even give Athena and Apollo a run for their money.
who?
You keep name dropping people that none of us know.
Oh.
It sort of lessens the effect.
You mean Helios?
No, I'm sorry. I miss my home. I miss a world that matters, and souls whose corruption means something.
Hmm.
Here I am a prisoner running a prison inside a prison beneath a prison. Never have I felt more trapped in all of my infinite years. We daemons were there before the beginning, and we shall see all things end. Fortunately, Thylea will end soon enough. As he says that, you guys all have this like PTSD flashback to like 100 and I don't know 30 episodes ago when
The tower.
you blew of the horn and you also before that got Versus prophecy and the sky was black and fire was raining down and everything was just going to shit. And then you're kind of back here in this area.
What's that vision in the tower?
Yeah, and the vision in the tower. Where some of you may or may have not seen this particular fellow before.
I was about to ask, like, was this part of my nightmare?
Yeah.
Thylea's going to survive.
Why would you say something so untrue?
Because we'll make it so.
You would force a goddess to live.
I would.
That is surprisingly selfish, but yet expected of a lesser species, such as yourself. You
Thylea opened
humans
her.
have a hard time understanding that everything ends, most especially something as basic as you.
Thylea opened her arms to the settlers once. She can do it again.
It makes a sound that is because everything right now is telepathic, but the creature itself makes a sound that kind of sounds like. And apparently, it is moved to physical laughter by the absurdity of your words.
Well, we've heard your proposition. We'll consider it. But for now, I think we leave you to your work.
I see. Well, If you are as enterprising as you assume to be, perhaps another might have an offer greater than mine that would appeal to you. I speak, of course, of the Warden of Oathbreaker Island. They have become a master of skirting the rules, walking the razor's edge of their oath and service. I will confess a great deal of jealousy that I am not in such a position to abuse my power.
We do intend to travel there.
If you do, tell him that Cube Keeper 3 would owe him a favor if my release could be arranged. I feel that he has become a bit too comfortable with his situation, as many servants who are allowed to eat at the table often do.
Or nods.
Down below, you hear the gentle honk shoes of the mountainous creature, settling back to sleep.
Alright.
Ah, disaster is averted. Again.
Yeah, Warren will
Ah.
turn to look at the others. Are we ready to go?
My nods and says, I think so. She's gonna turn back and look at the door, this side over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then look at the QKP 3 and say,
You do hear a mournful cry from behind the door. Obviously inhuman, animalistic, but sorrowful.
just my own curiosity. What's behind that door?
That is the breeding chamber. Would you like to see? It is not for the weak of heart. Their existence, despite their simple natures, is one of agony, subjugation, and humiliation. If they had a higher mind and soul, even I myself might feel pity for them.
Maya does a heavy swallow and says, no, I think I'm fine.
It's good because they actually drew it on the map and it's real disgusting. I'm glad you didn't ask so. So it's good.
You can just DM Sibo the pic.
I mean, award-winning BioWare writers, artists.
Alright, yeah, Warren will turn to go.
All right, they will escort you guys out, I guess.
Oh,
Unless
this door?
Oh, that door? Do you ask about that door?
Yeah. As I turn around to look away from that door, I see that one.
He says, that door does not concern you.
Real
And
good
with your
stuff behind
positive
that door.
insight, you roll, Orin didn't even roll an insight. Some good stuff on it, door.
No, that's important.
Keep your secrets.
All right, then I guess port you guys out of here.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm.
That guy's going in the pit.
They levitate. They're good.
Fair enough.
All right. So once back outside, the portal closes.
Be careful discussing anything that occurred within the cube, outside of it, even over the SIBO network.
What happened to the cube again?
Oh, Kyra says, well, there's a giant dinosaur in there that's going to eat everything.
Well, why?
What? I was there?
was playing dumb for comedic effect.
I'm a bit concerned. There's a lot of these cubes. Each one has a world-ending thing inside.
More
I
or
don't think
less.
we're supposed to keep those things, right? That doesn't seem like something you keep around.
Why hasn't she used the scythe on these things also?
Insurance.
Chandra says some things are too powerful, even for the scythe. And Zamrock says, which you understand as everything has a purpose, even things as awful as what we have seen. And then Brianna says, right, like, flies. They eat shit. No one else gonna do that.
Well, actually, many plants do.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
She looks at her character sheet. She just has no training in nature. Learn something new every day. I'm gonna be honest. Does the Queen know about this? Queen, not Maya, because you're right here, but Queen Valis?
There's the Kyra.
I mean, Kyra says, well, I mean, sort of, but not. I don't think she. If she does, she never said anything about it to me.
Did you know about it till before we came down here?
Well, I knew that there was like these cubes, and allegedly they had terrible things inside of them. But I mean, it's just a giant metaphor, right? I mean, it's a box that you're not supposed to open, but they made it like really big. So it's kind of like, you see what they're doing here? Like, there's a box you're not supposed to open. Anyways, I have concerns now.
I wonder why. What is? I understand that all things have to come to an end at some point, but these cubes, they were made with a timer. How were they made? And maybe another one could be made to extend it. All things have to come to an end at some point, but it doesn't mean there can't be a new beginning.
Telemachus looks up at the hourglass and says,
Andronicus will remember this. Pops up into the corner of your screen.
yeah, Andronicus looks up at the hourglass and says, but, who is in charge of time? If Lutheria is in charge of the cubes, and death, and birth, and revelry, and monsters, and so on and so forth, who is in charge of time?
I think.
I've heard you say that Sidon's in charge of time. If Sidon is the threat, and he is in charge of time, couldn't he just make all this time run out?
Well, sure, but that would also end
And
probably him as well.
So all of you would know by now that it is not publicly known that Sidon has the domain of time. Like, the people of Thylea just don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like they don't, kind of like they don't really have seasons. So they're just like, it's Mediterranean all year, baby. Like, it's cold in the mountain and it's hot in the desert, right? Like, temperate everywhere else. They also don't think like, I wonder who's in charge of time, right? Like, it's not something that they really concern themselves with. But nerds like Sibo and friends, they do study that sort of stuff at the academy, and they assume that the phenomenon of the Isle of Time, that the Sphinx of the Isle of Time, they are the ones that are in charge of time. But you guys have discovered on your own that Sidon is allegedly has the domain of time after studying at the Island of Time. And what I'm just basically like summing up like 140 something episodes of small details that you guys have collected along the way that your crew at this point would be able to piece that together.
Well, what I'm saying is these things here, these cubes, whatever's in them threatens all of Thylea as a whole, including Lutheria and including Sidon and including everything. From my understanding, Sidon's main gripe is settlers, anybody who supports them. So I don't think he would want to release these. But if he has control over time, can he make them be suspended forever? I don't know. Maybe that's a lot of power and effort, and maybe he's not capable of doing that.
He might have inherited the domain after the cubes were constructed.
So that's also true.
And this all begs the question, what means were used to trap all these world-ending creatures in the boxes? I mean, in Pedios' case, his daughter Maya, sick child, that's easy to wrangle from afar, given the resources available. But
when this thing is sleeping,
right? I mean, how did they just sneak up on it while it was taking a nap?
I would think so. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but my understanding is, while this thing, from what he told us, this thing eats and eats until it sleeps, and it sleeps until it's hungry again. I don't know what the time scale of that is, but maybe during that time while I was sleeping, it was captured. It must require some type of very powerful magic or god or something to be able to move it, construct these things, and put it in. Maybe something far before our time. I don't know. Was the Netherseas here before Thylea slept?
But the question of what's powerful enough to control with the scythe and what's not, but the method of trapping all these things, that is a tremendous usage of power, wielding of power.
Did I share with everybody where the scythe came from? I don't remember if just I found that out or if everyone found that out.
I don't know if you did. No.
The scythe. The first time I spoke with Lutheria about it, maybe it was the second time. I don't know. I've spoken to her about the scythe at least 5 times. One of the times, she told me that it was harvested from the remains of some dead god on the periphery of the accessible, I think she said plane. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but she crafted the remains of some sort of dead crystalline god. So I think maybe it can only capture things up to how strong that thing was when it was alive.
Or maybe that thing was the one that trapped all these in the first place. And then it ended. And then Seer came along and harvested its corpse.
If that's true, they don't make them how they used to, you know. Gods. All right, Andronicus.
No, that speaks to it having to expend a tremendous amount of energy, potentially, sacrificing itself in order to trap all these creatures, all these terrible things. But that doesn't meet up with the timeline, if not.
Well, I know for a
Everything.
fact that not everything in that scythe was captured by that god. Some of it, at least, was captured by Thylea herself.
Right, and well, I mean, are all the cubes occupied? Because Petos' daughter, that was a recent development.
Chandra says, yes. When a new
Threat?
threat, yes, is discovered, a cube is crafted for them.
Who makes the cubes?
The cubes appear. No one makes them. They are a manifestation, I believe, of Thylea's will. The Nether Seas is a part of Thylea. Do not be fooled into thinking we have gone far from home. The same river you sailed upon in your search for the Ultroth and Esther flows into these waters. They are connected. They are the same.
You're telling me that we're in Thylea's nethers right now?
He blushes a little bit and he says, it's more like,
It's just a joke, Chandra. It's fine.
You know, with jokes like that, I should give you a hand, or perhaps, you know, Kentamine might give you a hand with humor like that.
Or perhaps your mother will.
Kyra looks at you and says, whatever. That was the one time, buddy. You don't keep sniffing at the back door, okay? Wait, that sounds bad. You know what? Let's move the conversation to another topic.
Julian's hand drifts closer to his blaster.
So, Chandras, sounds like you really admire the work that goes on here. You're being very open and forthright with a lot of things. Is there anything else you want to tell us about things that might be happening that we should know about? He looks at all of you and says, is my loyalty to the cause and to this order in doubt?
No.
Absolutely not.
I
Like
will
always,
confess that I am not privy to Lady Lutheria's wants, desires, and needs. I was dismissed from her service, as I have said. And for a long time, I fought and sought a way back into her good graces. But I found something more important and more interesting. And that is your fool's errand.
in sixth circle magic.
Well, that part was pretty nice too, but yes.
Imagine if there's magic beyond the sixth circle. That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Ah, but Oren, there is. There's 10 circles of magic.
He just frowns. How about you then?
11 if you want to count the minor spells like cantrips and innate spell-like effects.
He just puts his hands on his hips and he just turns to look out over another sea.
Okay.
He's thinking about how he's gonna have to figure out how to add another attack to his rotation. You know, only way to keep up.
Okay.
Oren, as long as they don't come up with a way to summon their own fighter,
Oh man,
you should be,
he's
you
a
should be
single
fine,
beat,
right?
a single beat of
Oh, we
sweat.
have a wizard.
Yeah, whenever Bias summons that dragon, it makes Orin feel some kind of way.
Yeah, right.
He
What are you
can't fly.
talking
He can't
That
fly.
dragon comes over, gets 2 shot. He's gone.
Yeah, that's what is that, like a fifth circle dragon?
Yeah.
Fuck. Feel a little nervous. All right.
All right. So, Chandra says we have all the time and no time. So, what do you want to do now?
I know the Oathbreakers.
There's that, and then there's the mirror prison, where Ophelia? Forget the dragon's name. Opestia.
Oh, am I supposed to run in and help with this? I'm sorry.
Well, anybody can speak up that knows the dragon's name. The
Oh, Hezebal's the dragon's name.
Hezebal. There we go.
Has a ball.
Mm.
Yeah, there it is. Midas's dragon.
No. The dragon that went with the Dragonlord
Was-
to.
Arestia was
Orestia was friends with Midas, and that was her
Yeah.
dragon. Sorry.
Yeah, and she and Hezebal were like Midas's like best peeps, and he was the one that said, "Go to the Nether Seas, find the treasures there."
So we know that dragon's there in the mirror prison. I think it's time for the Isle of the Oathbreakers.
Oh dang. Okay.
Speak to the warden.
All right. You return to the boat, and just in time to see Yala yeeting the last corpse of the deep crows into the acidic sea, where it bubbles and boils.
Wait.
It's too late. Sorry.
Maybe they had. Oh, it's too late.
She's dusting her hands off.
Yeah. All right. Everyone tells you of the tremendous battle they had, the maddening cry, the infighting, the senseless death. But it was only a handful of sailors, and it was really weird because they died, and then they got up, and they just threw themselves into the ocean.
Well, I mean, that's less. Less.
Branches you need? Wow. What a practical fucking approach you're taking.
Or will check some drachma over the edge after him. Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna need this.
All right. What next?
I think we're.
You said the Isle of Oathbreakers. All right. You're right there. It's
Oh.
so close. It was right there the whole time.
Either that or Titan Island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You want to do Titan Island? It's right there.
That's true. Yeah, we are like what?
Okay, so what do we need to do at Titan Island? We're trying to get.
We're trying to get the bodies of the other titans, I guess.
Yeah. I guess you're sailing around until you see something that looks like Titans.
There's some real fucked up collecting. Trying to collect all the Titan Funko Pops here.
Do you want to just bring the same team?
We should probably sub out Brianna.
Okay.
No
You're
offense to Brianna, but yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any royalty for them to meet on the Titan Island.
Well, it might be if we're talking to a Titan, she might give us a. She's the one that just gives us advantage on persuasion checks, right? Or does that have to be against the royalty? So let me check.
I think these Titans are dead, though. I mean, if we want to bring her, it's fine with me. We'll just.
No, but it's probably better we can, depending on what we're doing. But
What's the Does Or know what the terrain or flora and fauna of Titan Island is like? Is it kind of just like a desolate?
Yeah, desolate shards of concentrated nyx and obsidian.
So you're saying we should bring Corinna in case we need to harvest anything?
Either that or Durak.
True. I mean, you can't just. Corinna's been our go-to ranger this whole time, and then this lizard guy comes along, and you're trying to sub her out.
Oh, I'm not.
Mhm.
I just said or.
Gotcha.
You see from behind a barrel, Corinna mean mugging you, Maya. Can Thurak help with aim shots? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
Brianna
actually,
was,
it'll be-
advantage to persuasion checks. All persuasion checks roll with guidance/expert dice.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna be talking. I don't know. So we could bring Karita because it'll help you with your bow as well.
If you run across any of those crows,
We just have to baptize it in the blood of a titan, right?
that's the
Well,
sword.
I guess yeah. If there's any blood here, all right. We can also ask.
We're trying to get away from torture and Talius.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
That's a last resort.
And at no point you're not long resting or anything, right? You're just heading on over there.
We long rested on before we got into the cube.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm alright.
Fair enough. All right. So how did
I need to long
Andronicus
rest
get
then.
so beat up?
I think he forgot to long rest.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's my guess.
All right.
I guess Sibo's still stuck in his situation.
So who are you subbing out? You subbing out Brianna for
Corinna, I
Corinna?
guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. I'll bring you guys over to the island. You sail around for a while, and then you see like a horror movie Mount Rushmore. A massive skull, two hands, and a half-broken face of a woman. Off in the distance. Hop into jolly boats, and you row them to shore.
Nice. Or it kicks at some of the sand.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like galaxy glitter. Just goes everywhere.
Alright. Well, I think this
This
is
is
one
a
here.
sweet fucking map. Like, this is so cool.
I think we found one of the bodies.
Or 3.
I don't know if we're going to be able to take them onto the ship, though.
Aw.
I guess we can go investigate them. Real quick, Oren will scan the skies and the terrain, just looking for anything alive, quote unquote, moving.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't see anything alive and moving. Occasionally you see some deep crows flying overhead. You see some things bobbing up to the surface of the nether seas to look around and then dipping back down below. Every now and then you catch movements of like an escaped shade or shadow, hoping not to be caught and brought back to the afterlife it is destined to. Overall, it's a company that is not being run very well. A lot of people feel that the problem goes all the way up to the CEO's office. They think that she's diversified her portfolio too much and is not focusing on the company's #1 brand, which is being the underworld.
Yeah, take it up with HR, buddy.
All right.
Maya's gonna turn to Sibo and Julian and say, looking at the face, and trying to remember the description that we got for each of the Titan, original Titans from Indigo Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is this one?
Gosh, I mean, it's a more masculine face. You
I
could
mean,
do
Sibo's keen mind. I mean, I'm sure we could roll to remember.
well. Sibo would
Am
walk
I-
you through. Sibo would walk you through it. Halcyon, you have freed. She was still beneath Fire Island. Hergeron is holding up the Tower of Praxis, which Maya you have seen in your scrying.
Mhm.
Talios is right over there pulling the boat.
Walking beside.
That would leave Yala, Galaron, and Versi.
Speak all around.
So that must be Galaron.
I'm thinking this is probably Yala.
When you say that, the skull seems to move ever so slightly.
To find out Yala, she wouldn't go down with any of her skin still intact.
I don't know how much of the Titans now are like the Titans before.
I imagine they're similar.
Now, Maya, as a person whose number one fear is being petrified, you know that in the 5th age of magic, petrification does not halt one's mind. You are trapped inside your own body, unable to move, breathe, live, yet your mind goes on. If these creatures are somehow still alive, but only petrified, that means that their minds would still be in there.
Or what's left of their minds.
Oh, right. Or, yeah, after being trapped inside yourself for so long. Yeah.
I will remind everybody that.
Thanks.
If that's the case, see, how long does it take for you to make a network?
Oh, fucking crap. It's it.
That's a good question. I think it.
All about the Bond is a ritual, so he could do it in
10 minutes.
10 minutes plus 1 hour. Right? Isn't the 1 hour how long it takes to cast? Oh no, 1 hour is how long it lasts, so he has to keep upping it. So yeah, so he could do it in 10 minutes.
I get what you're driving at, Maya, but do we want to have a...
The creatures would also need to be willing. Which I guess you'd find out if you reached out for their minds to see if they would be willing to connect.
I'm just concerned of what would happen
like
if we let...
airdropping dick pics on a plane. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta...
No, it's nothing like that.
Just fucking send it.
No, this would be like you're connecting to the same network as the dick pics, but the dick pics could actually be dicks coming out through the phone.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, what else are you gonna use Snapchat for? Come on.
That's why I don't use Spirit Airlines anymore. But anyways.
Well, no, I mean, like, if we mentally connect with these creatures, we have no idea what we're opening ourselves up to.
I know.
Mild madness.
And what are we here for?
So what you're saying is we need to get Andronicus over here within 10 feet of us. Everybody hold hands. Freak. But yeah, you raise a valid point, though. Do we want to try and connect with these Titans? If they are indeed in there, they could have information that is valuable.
I think knowledge is power. I think we need to learn whatever we can.
All right, I'll stand here. We
All
gather
right,
around.
Sibo, get a little closer.
Like,
Hold on one moment, and Sibo like jams his heels into his son's side. Giddy up,
Oh
pals!
my god. Got fucking stirrups.
Look, I mean, he's just repurposing the kit from what his time at Versi's room.
Didn't need to do that, but all right.
Yeah, he definitely has not told his son what it was originally used for, though.
That's good. I think Halos has another 7 or 8 minutes before he's old enough for that talk.
No, I feel like Halos is always like, I'm ready for it, Dad. Tell me. Always. He's always like that.
Takes after his father, you know.
Well, he has actually caught up to Sibo in age. They are now the exact same age, the exact same genetic person. To give you an idea of just how fucking rough life has been for Sibo.
Man. He kept a lot of color. He's got a lot more color in his beard, though. Hairline's hanging on pretty well, too.
Yeah, he doesn't dye his hair, but he just gets a lot more nutrients than his son has been getting. You know.
Really, I think the stress does the opposite to see what it does for most.
You're right. Well, when you're addicted to stress, I mean, you get messed up if you don't.
Noriande is stress.
Yeah, exactly. All right, do you try to set up a fresh network and include this creature right here? If it is even a creature.
Do it up.
And it's not just a fake out, and you're gonna have to fight a giant bone monster.
Yeah, okay, I do it up. Give me the fucking bloops.
I mean, it's what we're here for, I guess.
All right.
I get to fight no fucking snake.
As you reach out to this entity, it accepts the call. And when you connect, you hear a voice say, "Pain, anguish, suffering, failure, betrayed, forgotten, pain, flesh, gone, skin, gone, eyes, gone, fight, never stop, never, please, why?" And it kind of just goes on like that.
Maya will on the neck say, Yala.
There's a moment where the voice stops and says, "I know that name. That was me. That was me long ago." But why? How? I sense in you. Mother, why? Why?
He's gonna look at everybody and then not on the network. Say, okay, what now?
Is it? See if they know of a way to help them. She is a Titan after all.
At this point, in the background of your minds, you just hear a deafening scream of pain and sorrow, of a child forgotten and cast aside, of someone betrayed by the people they love the most. You fear that if you keep this connection going, it may start to impact your sanity.
I guess before we cancel out or anything like that, I will say, Jala, you're here, and you're not forgotten. We have found your sister Halcyon and Talius, and now we come to find you.
Give me a persuasion.
All right. Persuasion.
It is a DC 25.
Oof. Let me see if I have anything I can use to help get this. Is because the only way I can get this is with a 19. So,
Use Faxpiration. Not Faxpiration, Fanspiration.
Well, it's a reroll. So.
Oh, true. But
I'm trying to see if I have anything I can boost it with. Can I Queen's wisdom myself?
See about guidance.
I believe it's only others.
Yeah, it's like Bardic Inspiration, so yeah, you can't Bardic
Yeah.
Inspire yourself. All right. Anything else I could do?
Could see about do a guidance.
I mean, he would have had to do it beforehand, right?
I thought it was a reaction now.
Oh, yeah, it is a reaction.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here I'll go for it. Persuasion.
Reaction once per long rest, something like that.
Okay.
+6 to that.
For 10 minutes.
+6, but not. This wasn't with advantage though, right?
No. If I will use a reroll if it's
Yeah,
required.
you would definitely need to reroll.
Okay.
You got a 18 total.
Ah.
All right, here's a reroll.
Okay, that puts you at a 24.
24. I'll see it at a cost.
Dang. Okay.
Well, can't Sibo guidance you, or would have been?
That's with the guidance. Yeah.
That's with the 6 guidance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mixed up. Your lack of mental confidence poses disadvantage of knowledge checks. So, okay. Yeah, it's pretty appropriate. Okay. The screaming stops, and she says, "Halcyon is free."
Yes. House is free.
Versi is free.
No, not yet.
No. Freed through death. Her spirit gave up long ago. She ceased to be, and in oblivion, she found freedom. I am too strong to die. And the sorrow in her voice when she says that, it gives you chills. Because it's obviously something that she would gladly have done. I wait for freedom, that I might seek out my sister and punish her, that I might find my brother and show him the true meaning of suffering. That I might seek my mother and father and demand answer. Galaran has a more tempered heart, but even he will not quell my vengeance. And you feel the mind go still, as if it has exhausted itself.
Or is looking over the body, the corpse. So it looks like the corpse was kind of reduced to like a skeleton and then petrified.
Hmm?
It looks like.
I mean, if what Maya thought or hypothesized is correct, and this person was turned to stone, this person was still alive with no eyes, no skin, and then turned to stone because they just wouldn't die.
Is there magic that can return them, we can undo this level of petrification.
Not that I know of. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that golden needle, but I don't know if that's going to work on them.
I think
The
with
fact
all
that
of
she's still alive makes me very concerned about how we're going to deal with Sidon. If she's been flayed and stripped of all flesh and she's still alive here, how do we defeat him?
y'all is stronger than Sidon.
Well, Sibo does rattle off some stuff that you know about. The Titans are allergic. The Titans are allergic to star metal. Sidon is possessed of a dangerous hubris. And then he looks around and he says, "Man, I wish I had more things to say." But though we have those two.
I mean, if you think about it,
with the Titan killing weapon on top of Praxis,
yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. That sounds like hubris to me. Well, let's remake the network with y'all not on it. So
We try and speak to Golaron.
we could.
It sounds as if Versi has faded, but perhaps Golaron could also give some insight.
Well, here's the question. If the Fates killed Versi or Versi died while in captivity, where did she end up? Is she down here?
I mean, what happens when a Titan dies? Do they come to the Nether Seas?
Sibo once again pulls up a finger for a well, actually, and he points out that the Versi that he loves and serves is a different Versi than that Versi.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like
Yeah.
if this Versi died, did her spirit end up in the Nether Seas like every other mortal that dies?
He
Or
holds
do Titans-
up another finger and he says, "She didn't die. This Yala said that Versi ceased to exist, which is different than dying."
I see. Sorry, I feel kind of mixed up right now.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't know.
We should refer to them as Titans Senior versus Titans Junior. So we have Yala Senior here.
Okay. So you guys
Golaron
look
Senior.
over, and over on the beach, Corinna is reeling in like just a massive catch. It's some kind of undead shark. Everyone is terrified, but also cheering. Kyra is trying to goad Telemachus into helping pull it out of the water. He is running away. It's flopping around. It's just terrifying. She says, guys, we caught a great white.
Great white what?
Like a great white, you know?
Looks more like a
It's
gray
got-
purple.
No, nobody gets the jokes. Nobody gets the jokes.
You mean white with the, as in a White Walker,
Mm-hmm.
white.
Yeah, look, there it is. Ugh, it's flopping around.
What did you even use for bait?
Cures.
Corinna looks back at you guys and says, I mean, rations?
Insight check.
Okay. Your insight check reveals that they weren't rations, but fresh mutton. Oh, damn, yeah. From the dwindling food stores, no less. Alright, it finally breaks free of the line and swims back into the water. Kyra watches it go, and there's a sadness in her face. She says, I love fishing. I love sharks.
Siebert mutters something about shark fin soup.
So you head over to what you've been told is Galaron.
Cross
He
illumination.
looks pretty busted up. You don't imagine that feels very good.
He's got some skin
Yeah.
though, you know.
Yeah, it can't be worse than being flayed skeleton.
Mm.
I don't know. It does look
Well,
pretty
then
rough.
again, you don't have any nerves like that anymore, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah, it's just your mental anguish. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Sibo, he accepts the call. A voice, stony and gravelly, yeah, kind of comes onto the network and says, "And who are you? Have you been sent by my sister? Haunt me. It has been a while, an age. I thought maybe she had grown soft or forgotten me."
No, we weren't sent by Lutheria. I'm Maya, a mortal champion of Thylea.
My mother's champion. A mortal. How things have changed. How is she? My mother. Safe, I hope.
For now, but she's in danger. Sidon is planning to use a weapon made from star energy and fire it onto a mortal settlement on Thylea's surface.
That is a fool's gambit. Such energy would scar my mother's spawn. It would
We plan-
invoke the rage of my father.
We plan to try and stop him.
Sidon, he was no fool. What has happened to make him so blind, so obvious of folly?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think probably time and complacency.
I see. A shame, then. He was never a good boy, but he was bright. It seems now he is neither. What a terrible fall. No doubt the precipitation of his decline is his incestuous sister's machinations. Always so beautiful, so kind on the surface. I loved her. I wanted nothing more than to see her smile. But for her, the only light that shone was Sidon's. I know now that to her, we were never enough. That she always saw us as extraneous. I pity her. Her hubris. She has taken more than she ever could. Like a greedy child, sat down before a banquet of sweets. She has eaten till her belly ruptured, and now the slow death as she rots from the inside. I will endure long enough to hear her death rattle, and then I will try to convince Yala that we should join Versi in oblivion. Strangers, I apologize for my torrent of words, for there is none with which to speak, save my own thoughts. I know you not, nor do I know your purpose. Please, indulge me of your story.
Maya's going to turn to Julian, who's the better storyteller.
Julian will say out loud, not on the network. I mean, what do we tell him?
Everything.
Everything.
Why not?
And on the network, Julian proceeds to tell the story, and he will try and be succinct. Because everyone's always complaining that he's got a motor mouth and talks too much.
All right, load up session 1. Start from the top.
Well, you have all of the time and none of the time, so
yeah,
you can tell.
Well, Julian's not worrying about time. He feels that he shouldn't worry about time while he's here. Time will take care of itself, or it won't. But if he thinks about it, that's the problem. So not worrying about time, but worrying about the performance and not getting bogged down in the weeds.
God damn, are you Patrick Rothfuss? Holy shit. No, I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm still bitter. Keep going.
Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to fix bad behaviors.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so you paint.
I ran a
beautiful
one-shot
story.
Patrick Rothfuss recently.
Tell me the top 3 things you focus on, and the 3 things you definitely leave out.
So the 3 things that we focus on, that I focus on, are not so much the origin, but the fact that we're trying to be better than what came before. So focusing on
be better.
Being better, learning of past mistakes, things we leave out.
Second thing. Well, you only focus on being better. You have
no. That's not all we focus on. We'll focus on. I feel like what we've learned from the Indigo Isles was pretty important.
Okay. So that you let him know that you guys know the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And focusing on.
I think you should bring up Demetria.
Well, I'm assuming unless you leave it out that Demetria will be mentioned, but for your third focus, you may want to tell him what the fuck you're actually doing.
Yeah. We're trying to stop Sidon and save the Cyrus.
And I will also highlight everyone's personal sacrifices.
Okay. All right. So what are the 3 things you definitely leave out?
That thing in the temple, in Sidon's temple. No, I guess you probably want to leave that in. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, show him what a badass you are. Yeah.
Or a moron. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a little both. I mean,
if we're gonna tell him, we don't keep secrets if we're trying to win someone over.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything? I don't think there's anything we don't want to say.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nothing.
From an outside observer's perspective, you do seem a little cozy with Thylea, the god of death, but that's okay if you leave that in. Like, so you
I mean,
don't.
our focus is saving Thylea. So
Mm-hmm.
if we're cozy with her, if it means saving Thylea, then that's what we're doing.
Damn. Okay. So yeah.
I mean, also we don't leave out the fact that Orin very vocally within the group is opposed to being manipulated by Thylea.
Thylea. I mean, Ethereum.
Right.
You meant through Lutheria, right? Not Thylea.
Did they just drop that and leave?
Well, I don't think we leave it out, but the one thing Julian will probably get bogged down is explaining that the relationship is complicated.
Okay.
And like why it's complicated.
Yeah, they're off again, on again. You know, the back and forth.
Yeah, no. He will actually chuckle. He will actually chuckle at the explanation of the complexity of it because he knows his sister.
And Maya will add in there her conversation with Lutheria on like the edge, and she'll add that I think that if Lutheria is behind all of this mess, then I think she's trying to do it to give up, let it end. She doesn't want to be burdened anymore.
Okay. So as you drop all this on him, he listens and he processes, and occasionally he chuckles, and sometimes he is very quiet as he contemplates your words. The story is told, hundreds of hours of story, in what feels like no time at all. And he says, truly, for mortals, you have seen and done much. Yes. It seems that the youngest, they've lost their way. I am mournful for, of all the things one could have, of treasures, power, titles, lands, worlds, and servants. For me, family was enough. It was hard, being the eldest, with my mother slumbering, and my father too distant of mind and of being. I did what I could with what I had. Perhaps it was my own fault. Perhaps I could have done more for them. But perhaps it is not too late. They have caused a great deal of suffering to you and your people, to many others. There is no excuse for what has been, but there is always a chance to change what will be. Despite my broken form and my fracturing mind, despite the horrors I've witnessed and the sorrows I have endured, If I could save them from themselves, I would. Regarding the end, it is true. All things end. Even my mother will grow tired of sleeping. And she too will end. Though it seems that in her slumbering, she has produced much more than 8 children. She has made a world, become a world. And so, when she ends, it will end, and all the things that are she will end as well. But take heart. There are many worlds. This is but one. And life, it will go on. Creation will continue. And all the good things that you protect will still exist. Just not for you. If I could be freed of this stone prison, I would spend what power I had left in my mother's service. For whatever aims, or plots, or purposes she sees fit. But I ask if it is within your power to do so, champion. To free my sister Yala as well. I will temper her anger. She could be a valuable ally against Sidon. And perhaps Lutheria as well.
Well, we need to figure out a way to free you first, as well as her. Do you know what kind of magic was used to put you in this state?
My father did this to us. I believe his mind was addled by whispered words from my sister and brother. He was upon us before we knew what had happened. Yala strode forward to defend me, and Versi tried to quell his anger with magics. It was not enough. my part, I refuse to fight my father. Perhaps if I had, things might have been very different.
Mm. Oh, Kentamine was the one.
I will confess, the three of us, four, if you count Thylea, were concerned about the punishment dealt to Thylea. For all he had done was embrace his nature. It was like punishing a fish for swimming, or a bird for flying. Why would Mother make him so, if what he was offended her so greatly? Our
Very,
doubts and misgivings, I think they were weaponized against us by Lutheria.
Makes sense.
When Hergeron heard of our fate, he confronted Sidon. But Sidon of that age is a different beast than the one I hear of in your stories. He broke Hergeron easily. And upon his broken body, built a monumental fortress to his own greatness.
I guess outside the network, I will turn to Sibo and Julian and ask, do you think we have anything that we can do to remove this petrification on them? Type of magic or something we might haven't thought of before? I have a greater restoration, but I don't know if that's going to be enough against petrification from Kentamine.
Might be a caster check.
I feel like Sibo will be the one to field this. I mean,
Yeah, give me a history from Sibo.
Can't be lower than 10.
yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. Sibo's on the cusp of something really big.
He'll succeed at a cost.
Was that
Right.
Sibo or was that Julian who rolled?
That was Julian rolling off of Sibo's sheet.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh my god. Well, he enters the bad luck spiral after getting a 32. He's been doing a lot of reading, Sibo. You see him reading the same book a lot. You know Sibo's a fast reader, but this book never seems to run out of pages for him to read. Or he just really likes the content because he keeps reading it. You know this is the book from the library, Julian. He keeps it with him everywhere. Some might say it's precious to him. But since he's acquired this book, he has gone from a startling amount of knowledge to a staggering amount of knowledge. And Sibo says, well, there is an artifact called the Staff of Kentamine. It's apparently a physical manifestation of Kentamine's fatherly will. From what I understand, it is kept in the vault inside Praxis.
Hmm.
But with it, it could undo a curse or curses that originate from Kentamane himself.
Okay. We have a solution.
But that means leaving here, going to Praxis, obviously not talking to my dad, getting into the vault, while also stopping the Death Star, and maybe killing all the Titan kids, and dealing with Sidon, and then getting back here, and then doing that, and then if we didn't deal with Sidon, going back up in time to stop Sidon.
I mean, yes. I mean,
You're saying there's a chance.
that sounds. Yeah, there's a
Oh
chance.
yeah,
But
oh yeah, there's definitely, oh yeah, there's a chance.
other than that, it also means that when we do have to go to Praxis to stop him, we need to find this vault. Because if the staff was able to affect Kentamane's father's will, it might be a way to affect Sidon and Lutheria.
Yeah, I mean, if he has staves in that vault, he might have spears or tridents. Maybe a pike or something. Hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, Gularon, we're not able to free you yet. We think we know of a way. Orn will think over the SIBO network.
There is power in yet. It is proclamation of hope.
Regardless, I'll be back. Whatever happens.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You guys heading back to the ship?
Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
There's no blood around here, right?
No.
All right.
to quench it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some on a barge nearby if you want to. All right, so heading back to your boats. Where to now? Man, you guys are just knocking shit off your checklist. Amazing.
Bam, bam.
I mean, and adding more stuff as always.
Yes, the Skyrim conundrum.
This one's just like a. We've already got like the bullet point quest of going to Praxis, and it's just a little subheader under there, you know. Find the vault, get the magical staff of unpetrification.
No, I mean it does a lot more than that. I mean it's a pretty badass staff.
As we get
I
back
don't care
to
about
the
no
ship,
magic staff, alright?
Oh, okay.
It better be a spear and
I mean,
some sort of crazy shield.
so when you say the thing about the spear, yeah, Sibo looks at you with a big smile on his face. He says, "Oh, there's a spear."
as we get back to the ship, Julian will ask.
But real quick, it's important. I've done a lot of studies of Praxis. If we encounter my father, there's a failsafe on the safe to the vault. It will never open. So it's important that we do not run into him if we want the vault to be opened.
Insight check.
All of you know that he is lying. So.
All right.
I don't know if Andronicus does.
Or we just know. As we get back to the ship, Julian will ask for a private word with Andronicus.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Do you guys need to go to a secret chat?
I don't know.
No.
No? Okay, all right. But we'll
It's a
meta, none of us hear it. Okay, got it. All right.
Oh, we have to go even farther away. We're gonna share this with Rope Snake, though.
Rope Snake can be trusted. It's okay.
It doesn't want that kind of burden, so it's gonna slither away.
Okay.
Yeah.
As time is not a regular thing down here, I'm not quite sure how long ago it was, but after we learned about what happened with Pedios' daughter and getting the chakram from Maya, my grandmother made an appearance, and I spoke to her in private. I don't know if she's to be trusted, but she says that she could help us defeat Lutheria on her barge, and that Lutheria keeps weapons in her armory that we could use against her. I feel that you have a vested interest in Lutheria ceasing to be, and I keep going back and forth over how best to handle her. She has done so many terrible things in her existence, and yet she seems to be reaching out, but I don't know whether that's out of exhaustion or boredom, or whether it's a giant cat's paw in an effort to stir things up and be entertaining, and to kill us ultimately. But I feel that you are the appropriate one to approach about the feasibility of taking her off the board.
If we get this staff, we have to come back. We have to go to the island of the Titans after that. I think that we look into it more before then. And if at that point we decide that's the route we should go, I think that's when we bring the fight to her, I guess. But
the reason I'm bringing this up now is we don't know how much time we have. And in addition to that, if we were to eliminate Lutheria, should we be so fortunate? Because she is in a weakened state, and the weapons that are in her armory are supposedly attack her on a psychic level, and that is the key. Again, this is all according to the trapped spirit, my grandmother, in an amulet. If we would remove her, we could possibly, we or one of us, could assume some of her power, at least take her spark, perhaps gain abilities we might not otherwise have, and be able to move open holes in the fabric of space and time, get into that vault and get back. Or something else that we might not otherwise have the power to do.
I think that maybe if any of us could take that responsibility, perhaps Chandra's. He's the most familiar, other than perhaps Oren, with the way things are run down here, and I think replacing her with someone that isn't already familiar with the goings-on of the Nether Seas would be catastrophic. There's a lot to keep track of down here.
You know, that hits it the nail right on the head, because that's honestly what's holding us back, isn't it? We're afraid that by replacing her, her replacement won't know what's going on and will make worse of a mess of things simply from the lack of knowledge.
If there's one thing Chandras doesn't like to lack, it's knowledge.
But he's also infatuated with her still.
If she's gone, that won't be an issue anymore. There won't be a her to be infatuated with.
No, but his emotions might still be in play. That might be perceived as a huge betrayal.
We've spoken with him before about the possible need to eliminate Lutheria. I don't think he's happy about it, but I don't think he necessarily disagrees.
But that was before our return. I don't know. I got a vibe off him last we were dealing with the cube, and he seems in his element down here. He seems different.
I think that's precisely why he should be the one.
Or another possibility. Instead of killing her, we convince her to give up some of her power. Maya said that she had reason to believe that she was extending an olive branch, but we were to try and take it. Lighten her load with Chandra's help, but not necessarily upset everything completely down here.
Other than thirst for power, which I don't know if that's enough, we don't really know what caused Sidon and Lutheria to turn against everything and all of their siblings, and apparently somehow persuade Kintamane to at least tacitly support them. I don't. Even if she gives up the extra power that's caused her
Stress, shall we say.
insanity, even if she returns to the Lutheria she was before, something caused that original Lutheria to seek all of this power, and I don't know if she wouldn't just do it again. The reason I cannot get any of you to remember my family, and the reason that I can't be remembered by anyone except for you, is because my line was apparently prophesied to bring about Lutheria's ruin, and she eliminated us one by one with her scythe. I was the only one left. I must have known what was happening. And at that point, Mitros cursed my line to be forgotten. And I was supposed to forget them as well, but I didn't. At this point, the elimination of Lutheria and the subsequent freeing of my family it's more important to me than anything else. It's more important to me than dealing with Sidon. I think that she is the larger threat of the two. He's all muscle and bluster, but she's the schemer. And I think that once he's off the board, there's nothing left to rival her. And I think maybe that's what she wants.
Well, do we then bring this idea of my grandmother's to the group?
I think it's worth sharing at least. Perhaps
dangerous
just
as it would
before
be.
at first.
Yes. As dangerous as it might be, this might be our only opportunity to have any kind of advantage if we were to act.
And if these weapons aren't just specific to Lutheria, if they're more of this star metal, they might help us against Sidon as well.
I'm not sure. No. But then there's just the small matter of what my grandmother might do if we were to eliminate Lutheria.
I'm assuming that she'll try to take the power, right? That's
That's my concern. Or her body and the spark or something. I'm not sure.
Did it seem like she was holding back more information about this until we agreed or until we were there? If not, we could always just betray her at the Isle. Get her out of the way that way.
Let's bring it to the rest of the group. And if need be, I might have to channel some energy to get it to come and talk to us, but I think we need to discuss this seriously. Because I can't get it out of my head as an option, and it feels like it's the best time.
If we fight her, we have to make sure that none of us are killed by her scythe. It's not great.
Wipes us from existence, yes.
No, you still exist. Just inside of it.
Oh.
With all of those other things. Forever.
Right. Let's bring it to the group.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I guess Andronikos and I go and round up core members of HOP and nobody else.
All right.
And once we have everybody, Julian will explain, what was proposed to him in general terms. And I guess I'm going to try and bring Grandma Katya out. And if need be, I need to, I don't know how this works because she's just always siphon energy off.
Right.
But if I had to sacrifice hit dice or something or energy, if I had to, use spell slots to get her to come out, I guess I would do that.
Sure, I understand. All right, so it's the 5 of you, and then you're gonna try to call forth your grandmother's ghost from your amulet. Okay.
I'm trying to access the Sith holocron that I have around my neck.
Yeah, sure. All right. She pop out. And she sort of looks around and says, is this an intervention?
No,
I know it's not. I was trying to lighten the mood. I listen to most things that go on around you.
I would like you to explain, if you can get into greater detail, how we go about executing your plan of, executing Lutheria to the others.
Certainly. Why don't I lay down some groundwork real quick? In case you had forgotten, I am Julian's grandmother. I like to think I don't look like it. But I was, for a time, a member of the Dragonlords. Not really a member, but like a B team member, you might say. I never really went in for the chaining oneself to a dragon and vice versa. It's a pretty silly situation. But anyways, I liked what they were about and I liked what they did. And for a time, I used my guiles to infiltrate Sidon by letting him infiltrate me, you might say. And I was able to provide a lot of information that was very useful for the war efforts. One thing I didn't count on was the intense dislike I would garner from his incestuous sister. I thought that they were in a very open, if completely fucked up relationship. And, well, it was heavier on the fucked up part. Suffice to say, my treachery was revealed, and I was killed. I blame both Sidon and Theria for what happened. Fortunately, I'm a very powerful arcane spellcaster, and I had some contingencies in place. When I died, my spirit was sequestered away so that I could avoid an eternity of torment and torture at Letheria's hands. Lucky enough for me, Damon and those loyal to the Dragonlords remembered my many sacrifices and kept my soul cage, I suppose, safe from discovery and destruction. Until such a time as one worthy enough of my bloodline would come along and make right the wrongs of the past. And that's where Julian comes in. I want a body. I want to be a person again, and not a piece of jewelry. And I have asked Julian to assist me in this many times, and he brushes me off. So I am going to open up our discussion by letting you know exactly what I want. And if I do not receive it, I will not be forthcoming with any additional aid or protection to any of you. But if I do receive it, you will have one of the strongest magical allies in the history of the Dragonlords, who knows one of your enemies on an intimate level and has an eidetic memory for the layout and security protocols of the Tower of Praxis. I also know the location of weapons of power created by Sidon to be used against his own sister. Those weapons are now in her custody and locked away for safekeeping. But the construction of them works both ways. While they are especially dangerous to her, they are still quite capable of harming him. For the two are very much the same. Twins and all. You get me a body. I'll tell you where they are, how to get them, how to use them, and anything you want to know about Praxis, its contents, and Sidon. And with that, the flickering force ghost of Grandma disappears, and the locket clicks shut.
Does Orin know what the mechanism for getting a body would be? Like,
I mean, it just sounds like she just wants a body. Like, I mean, it doesn't seem that hard. Necromancers do it all the time.
Julian, she
But
seems to think
Maya,
that
you know that it would be an act of capital E evil to rip the soul out of a body and let her have it. It would need to be an unattended vessel, or it would be considered very poor taste and an evil act. There's no 9 alignments, but there's, still good and evil and what society perceives and religious perceptions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Maya turns to Julia and says, if I remember correctly, wasn't Vulcan trying to make like an artificial, like a mechanical body life?
Yes, he was working on such a thing in his shop when we first met him, and he was denying the fact that he was Vulcan.
Well, maybe he has an empty body. Mechanical one.
Does your grandmother want a mechanical body, though?
She just said she wants a body. I would not like to find a person, kill them, rip their souls out, and have it be put in have someone else be put in there.
We've killed people before, Maya.
Yes, but we haven't ripped their souls out of their bodies to put a new person in.
We've sent their souls along to the underworld. There's plenty of people in Thylea that would be better off dead. The question that I have, though, is
Orin.
The question I have, though, is whether we can truly count on this Katya as an ally, not as a liability once we get them what they want.
I'd be the only person who knows about the weapons and how they work and where they are.
Julian, you've had Katya with you for a long time now. Do you trust her?
I trust that she would betray us in a heartbeat if it was convenient.
Or after the defeat of Sidon? Does she hate Sidon enough, do you think, to work with us?
I'm actually not sure. Crash, could I kind of like retroactively roll an insight to see?
Yeah, like looking back at all your conversations with her and stuff. Yeah, I mean, she is thought now. Like, she is thought and memory. She's a ghost, and ghosts are just composed of, psychic resonance, essentially. She hates him. Hates him for what he has become, for what he was, for what he did, for what he does. and that has just been looping nonstop in a feedback loop for all this time that her soul has been in prison, which is, give or take 5 centuries.
Also, who's to say Sidon hasn't changed his security in those 500 years?
But she also fears Lutheria enough that she took big precautions to ensure that her soul would go where she wanted it to if she died, because apparently she pissed off Lutheria enough that
She saw something like this coming.
She could not risk going to Thylea's underworld, like Netherseas. Like, again, your Gmaw came with the Dragonlords from elsewhere. But she knew, like everyone here knows, that if you die here, you don't get to go to Nariande Heaven, if there's such a thing as this. Yeah, you get sent here to get processed. Yeah. And the person who processed it, well, she was banging his husband, or her husband. So, and apparently that was a sore spot.
She hates Sidon with an all-consuming passion.
Does the aid she can provide us outweigh the weight she could give us as a bargaining chip with Lutheria, though? Similar to Esther.
I don't think she has any credit there. Lutheria killed her. And her fair Lutheria is what prompted her to create that locket. There's no bug. Suffer the consequences of her relationship with Sidon before all this. And as we have learned, these gods, these Fae, they have a long memory.
Logistically speaking, in terms of what Katya asks, finding a body, finding somebody on the surface that is worthy of death, taking their soul from it and passing it along to the underworld, letting Katya inhabit the body, it's all possible. The issue arises with... I know I'm gonna think about how to phrase this. It may be trading one ally for another. We've worked to maintain a steady relationship with Lutheria. She's provided us aid, and while a powerful sorceress on our side would be a boon, the goddess of death and the one in charge of rebirth and heroes coming back from the dead is a whole order of magnitude higher in usefulness.
Yes, but what if we were to put someone else in charge after Lutheria's been taken care of? Say Chondrus.
I'm not sure if anybody is powerful enough to do what she's currently doing.
She's a being of amalgamation of her domains and a being of immense power. I don't think anyone would be able to shoulder the burden that she does currently. If we were to remove her, which, skipping over the fact of that even being possible for us currently, if we were to remove her, not only would the replacement need to shoulder both the burdens of and the duties of the underworld and caretaking of the dead, they'd also need to assume the protection of, assume the protector's role of Thylea in against otherworldly threats that she currently abides. And they are very real threats. Lutheria almost constantly is giving up parts of herself to prevent these entities from entering, wreaking havoc. It's a tall ask, even for Chandras.
Well, it could be shared between Chandras and Zamrox. So I understand that if Chandras goes, Zamrox is going to be there with him.
Hmm.
One processes that, one guards the edge.
I still don't know if a Chandras and a Zamrox are enough.
I'm not sure if they're enough either.
On the matter of removing Lutheria, as you put it, I can wholeheartedly say without any sort of doubt that if we were to attempt that currently, would be wiped out in no time, utterly devastated. You can trust me on that. When I was down here, I spent time amongst the gladiators, amongst the cube keepers, and everywhere in the Nether Seas working as enforcer. Before that, before I was ready to aid her and assume my role, I spent a long, long time attempting it, sussing out any possible weaknesses in her, and to be completely honest, I found none. Though I did find her strength and her overwhelming propensity for cruelty. Make no mistake, if we challenge her now openly, and if she tires of the game and takes it seriously, we will not survive. And there will be no coming back. And Warren's got like a vacant look in his eyes.
But we'd have the element of surprise. We'd have the proper weapons.
You have no surprise, Julian. Look at me. Look at me, Julian. You have no surprise. I'm a conduit of Lutheria.
Okay, fine. Fuck it. So we're just going to allow her to run roughshod over all of us until that's it. Or it's no longer convenient. Or she decides to throw the first punch.
At the moment, us and her are aligned in our interest, and that is the removal of Sidon. Beyond that, there is beyond that, it doesn't matter. We need to do what we set out. We need to do what we set out to when we formed the Fellowship. We need to remove Sidon, secure peace for Thylea, and from there we figure out what to do next.
Orin, you're right. Look at you. How much of this is you and how much of this is her?
It's impossible to say.
Fuck it. Third option.
You could be rid of that.
If Vulcan can give us the body, we'll try and get Cartier into it and figure that out. And we parlay with Lutheria once we have an opportunity and see if she'll just give us the weapons to kill her husband.
I believe she would give us access.
If we're truly allies, she'll realize that the only way we can have any kind of equal footing with Sidon is if we have the proper tools. We can deal with other business down here before we have that conversation, but I'm sick and tired of pussyfooting around her. keep hearing about all the horrible shit that she's done and all of the good that she's doing by keeping other evils at bay, and this still allows her to do more. And if we're really going to be true to what we vowed, we've got to break the cycle somewhere. There's got to be accountability. And I know we're trying to walk that line between evil and not, but I'm tired of being kicked around.
There is a difference, though, in breaking the cycle and being foolish, though.
Well, we're discussing it. We're not running off half-cocked trying to do this.
One thing at a time, Julian.
I just want to impress upon you the danger that such a course of action poses.
Consider me dangerously pressed.
There is a time and a place for everything, and risking what we have here before Sidon is dealt with puts everything we've done thus far in jeopardy.
So OOC, I don't mind going a little bit later because we had some technical difficulties. What this is kind of a point I think in the campaign where you guys might need to address what do you as the player want to achieve and what you want to see happen, and then what do you think that your character wants to see and to make happen, and understand that you are here to roleplay, sure, but Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, right? He came to resent Sherlock Holmes, right? Because Sherlock Holmes was more famous than he was. He didn't want to write any more books about him. He tried to kill the character. His fans came and tried to kill him, so he had to unkill the character. He was a slave to his most popular creation, right? You're here also to have fun as the human player. So, acknowledging, right, what you want to see and what you want to do as a player, and then what you think that we're going on 3 years now, right? You know these characters pretty well, like what they want, right? And then we take the 5 characters and the 5 people and we look at it and we see, is there a way forward that takes those things into account? Because you guys, there's time counting down. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of big hitters are going to start entering the equation, and you probably by now get the feeling that what you're dealing with is much bigger than just Sidon Mad want to blow up city. And so I think that's really important for you guys to kind of, what do you want, and what does your character want?
I guess I can start. Maya definitely wants to stop Sidon from blowing up Mitros, and
Okay.
save it, and then stop that weapon from being used against on the surface of Thylea. That's her goal.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever direction leads to that. So if it includes trying to stop Lutheria or first in order to get weapons to do it, or talking to Lutheria to get weapons to do it, in both cases those leads to trying to stop Sidon from blowing up and destroying Thylea. So that's Maya's goal. She is not necessarily aligned with, agrees with Lutheria on many things, but she does understand that, she got to do what she got to do. Maya's going to do what she's got to do. And if at some point that, there's going to be a tension between there, then yeah, okay, then it happens. Down the player, I'm fine either way. That's why I like multiple picking when we do polls.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else have like what they think are, like what they're so far? Again, you don't even have all the info yet, but but you still need to know moving forward, like what you're after, where you're going, what you're doing.
Andronicus wants to kill Lutheria because if he frees, like if he ends the curse on him and his family, then she'll just immediately kill him again. And so his main goal is release his family, end the curse on them. And he thinks that probably to do that, Lutheria needs to be out of the way.
Julian's
What does Nathan want though? Does Nathan want to see something different than what Andronicus wants, or are you also on board for that?
I just want little baby Andy to be happy.
Oh, okay. All right, David, you were saying?
Yeah. Julian's gone from slacker to getting a bit of a hero complex, just a little bit. Kind of want to see the wrongdoers punished appropriately, but is now having to come to grips with the fact that in doing so, he may have to cross the line and then face punishment himself in doing so. I mean, I want to have fun, and I will do mental gymnastics to make whatever, decisions that are going to keep everyone having fun.
Yeah.
So, Julian has a very mercenary mind, and so if it goes from, well, we have to let evil survive because pursuing it would upset someone else's play experience, then Julian just makes the decision, okay, that we have to let evil survive. So I'm down for whatever, but he does, if it's possible, he's going to reach for the stars and just like clean sweep, and that we can take the power, we can do what's right.
All right.
But also knows that, in doing so, he may also have to, accept being punished for his actions.
Yeah, so Oren wants to... so Oren wants to secure peace for Thylea, and I believe currently that means killing Sidon and breaking up the forces that he's amassed to wipe out Mitros and all of the settler races. And he's willing to go to any cost at the except for the so he wants to accomplish this without repeating his past failure of not being able to protect his companions. So he's willing to do anything to get to this goal, as long as at the end of it, Andronicus, Julian, Maya, and Sibo, the B team, are still alive at the end of it. So that's his key goal currently. Will, I mean, I'm just here for the fucking... I'm here for the drama.
You just sit back, eat the popcorn as we're all talking about life, death, the existence of Thylea.
Yeah, I think I want to get the good end.
There are quite a few ends.
It's a BioWare game. I want the blue lights to lance out across the universe.
Oh, dang. That's a tall order. Could happen though. Could happen. All right. Well, that's it's good to kind of get that out there. So you guys, because of your different affiliations and your epic paths and things like that, this campaign does kind of bring up some tough questions. Like, is your fellowship now worth more than your epic destiny? Is your in some cases family worth more to you than the world, right? Like literally. Like there's these situations now that you're finding yourselves in where you have to kind of question, like, what are you doing? Like what are you still fighting for? Is it the same thing? Is it something new? Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Well, with all that moral quandary out on the table, now would probably be a time. So, certainly something to discuss on Discord. Since Ori could not make it, kind of get his feedback. There is still a lot to discover and sort out as you move forward. So you're planning around the unknown is a fast track to kind of driving yourself crazy. But I think Julian is sort of hinting at, maybe not just directly telling you guys this, that it's all well and good to plan around what is known, but what if the other people know more than us, right? So they're planning around all the info, we're planning around the info that we've been fed, or the info that we were lucky enough to get. You don't win 20 squares playing the current turn or the next turn. You win playing all the turns as far in advance as you could go. Yeah. So, all right. With that, let's take a look at calendar and then announcements, and then we will adjourn. So there's a pesky thing called Christmas on the 24th, and then New Year's Eve on the 31st. We will play next week, which is some kind of national holiday. I don't know, somebody's birthday. And then on the 17th, and then 24th.
About national holiday.
I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Pretty old. Won't be too many more of these. So the 24th and the 31st, we will be off, and then we'll resume play on the 7th. If anybody has holiday stuff that makes it like so the 7th or the 17th is not possible, try to communicate that early.
Yeah, I will not be here on the 10th.
You'll not be here on the 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody else say they weren't going to be here on the 10th also last week? Or was it just you?
I think you may be thinking Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
I think it's Dom and Darby.
So like the 7th, I may not. Somebody will have to stream for me because I may not be able to make it for 7th for Thursday, but for Sunday I definitely won't be here.
Got it. Okay, and then let's see. Extra life. So we did an extra life yesterday, and it was very fun. And Dom and Will and Cadenex, which is Brandon, they all came out and did an amazing job. I basically just got to hang out and pretend to be a baby, a teenage girl, and a bad bitch. Then I got to play a puzzle dungeon that we actually solved pretty quickly, and we all felt pretty fucking smart.
20 minutes, damn.
Yeah. We left him reeling. With how fast we solved that puzzle, and out of nowhere, Stone Wolfen. I knew that we had a good one with Josh Butler, but then Stone Wolfen came out of nowhere and was just like, "Wait, Josh, it's actually like this. And then like Josh was like, Nani? And it was like it was
Stone
like
pushed up his
watching it.
glass and you saw the glare.
Yeah, yeah. It was like watching an episode of OneNote. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, holy shit, this is crazy. So it was like a really good time. And then I got to run like a couple of hours of this dungeon I worked really hard on, and we didn't get to finish it. It makes me super sad, but that's okay. In the end, we raised a lot of money. Our team has raised $5,600 total this year, which is pretty cool. Red has another game coming up this Wednesday. I don't know if there's any room,
There's one
but there might
spot.
be. There's one spot. Okay, so there's one spot on Wednesday, and then also you could donate just to be a bro. Tax deductible, year's ending, all that jazz. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with the money that we earned this year and the effort everybody put in. Phenomenal work. We have a small community, but we people just show up and their generosity is astounding. So it was a really good year for Extra Life and a very enjoyable format this year. I was very happy with it. I don't have any new games starting until probably mid 2024, but I will be running a Kingmaker game, which will take 100 years to prep and run. And then I'll be running 2 level 1 to 6 instances of Crown of the Kobold King, which is classic fantasy. So you're just some low-level scrubs, and you go to a remote dungeon town to try to solve their dungeon problems. And it's a really cool way to try out Pathfinder without committing to a big, long Pathfinder campaign. And there will be lots of kobolds, and Pathfinder kobolds are adorable. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, anyone have any announcements?
Yeah. So I'm already thinking about what my next campaign is going to be for running after Cyberpunk. I'm planning to run Strength of Thousands, which is supposed to be the magic school. Start off as students, become teachers. Adventure path. It's 1 to 20. So after Cyberpunk is done, that's going to be the next one that I run.
Are you doing XP based or milestone based?
So probably milestone, but the way the adventure, and they actually say this in the player's guide, is that XP in this game is not from killing enemies; it's only from completing certain objectives, and those objectives are listed listed in the adventure for the GM. So it's never from killing monsters. You don't get any XP from killing monsters in this adventure.
That's probably for the best, because I could not get out of my head Brennan Lee Mulligan's take on XP based advancement. If you're like a wizard, you don't advance by studying, you go and advance by going out and slaughtering goblins.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
One thing to talk about this thing is there's a lot of extra stuff. Like your character is going to have so many bonus feats from like studying and doing class stuff. You pretty much have 3 archetypes.
Good God.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine running Strength 1000 without just using Milestone, because it takes place over years. You know what I mean? It just feels,
minimum 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
In game time.
Okay. It is very interesting to me, but also
Get in there.
Well,
I gotta cut back.
It is 120, but from what I heard from everybody else is that it actually is not that long of a adventure. You might be able to do it in a year, maybe a year and a half. So, which is why I picked it.
Speed run, you say? All right. Anyone else have any announcements? Any games you're trying to fill? Any people you're looking for games? I mean, Sea of Thieves. It's a good game, guys. It's a good game. If you don't ever want to achieve a lot or deal with toxic PvPers, they introduced baby mode this month. Baby mode's coming out. I don't mind playing baby pirates if anybody wants to play baby pirates. It's like 4 dudes in a bathtub. We're just splashing soapy water on each other. Saying R, digging up treasure. It's good times. Or we could play
I do like that imagery.
Yeah, or we could play real Sea of Thieves, where we're 4 guys in a bathtub and then somebody kicks open the door, and they kill us all in the bathtub with a shotgun while
They
calling
run
us
off.
a bunch of racial slurs. Yeah. See, 2 very fun pirate experiences there.
They run off with your towels, you know.
Oh my god. I've dealt with some real toxic shit in that game, but I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, so I'm sure it gets way worse. But anyways, I just want to give that a shout because Justinian is our resident pirate lord. He has a pirate guild, and he is a ton of fun to play Sea of Thieves with. He brings a lot of energy, and he's always playing Sea of Thieves. So it doesn't matter if you've never played before. His purpose, if there is a God, God made him to play Sea of Thieves with people. So yeah, do not be afraid. Seek him out. Yeah, that's all I got. And with that, I guess we'll adjourn. Okay. Good luck this
right.
week with all your secret Santas and your office parties and whatnot. And I'll see you around the Discord.
All right, thanks for running.
Mm-mm.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. See you next week for whatever we're doing.
Smooth.
Bunch of dudes in a boat in the underworld.
Yeah. 5 feet apart.